And wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. All right, so we're going to be picking up where we left off in Kenshi. Ignore all these other saves you see here. They don't exist. They're a lie. That's certainly an image that I have not seen anything like that in Kenshi, but sure, that person looks rather unhappy about being strapped to the side of... I can't remember what that's called. The bull thing. But yeah, that looks terrible. I hate it. But, I have been working on the side of... I think I'm going to start a video series in Kenshi for YouTube as well. I'm going to do a run there that I don't think I'd do on stream. Because to give you context on that one, I may have spent... Ooh, was it 6 or 7 hours crawling as a torso across the map? And I'm talking real life hours. What were we doing? We clearly just patched ourselves up. Let's take a look at our inventories. You could use a top off of food. You've got a bunch of cannibal research. Okay, so we had just arrived from wiping out one of the cannibal towns, I believe is what happened. So we're going to run in here and get that going. Hey, how's it going, Apricot? Yeah, so we got a bunch of... Oh, your holdings. Oh, I remember what we were doing. We have like 8 people with $40,000 bounties on them here. Oh, that one died. Well, that's fine. So when they die, you get a discount on the bounty. You don't get the full crit price. So you got wounded. That one died. You need to be patched up. Because he tried to go after the Grand Wizard of the Cannibals. And it did not go well. Alright, so any of these are ones... and we walked in there, and when I say he one-tapped people, he didn't one-tap knock people out. He one-tap deaded people. So that didn't go particularly great for us. Alright, so I need to patch them up so they don't die along the voyage. But all I care is that their chest, head, and whatever are not actively degrading. Because we did let one of them die, so we lost 20,000 for that. Like, what 20,000 potential income. Alright, that's fine. You've had this game installed for months and you haven't started yet. You need to get into that. Oh, it's excellent. It is one of those games that, until you've played a bit, like, finding direction is hard. Oh, let's actually drop off the research real fast. I don't know if we'll do anything with it, but we will drop off the research. But, how much do you get for the corpse? You get half the value of the bounty when you turn in someone who's got a bounty and is dead. So if, like, someone has a bounty for 40,000 and you die, and they die before you arrive to turn them in, you get 20,000. Typically. Which, personally, I feel like it should depend on who they are. Like, I do feel like the faction leaders, that should be true. But for, like, you know, random stuff like this... why are you forcing the... Why are you shoving each other... Oh, right, because we have Marco here. Where everyone's supposed to follow them. But while I don't plan to do cannibal science, they do have armor, who knows. We might mess with that. But I just want to get out of the inventory. They don't stack. That's very upsetting. Alright, some of them do and don't stack. Maybe it's because they have the stolen status. No, that's not it. Okay, so with all that said... Oh, are you not the slowest? Who's... whatever. We'll just do it this way, which is we'll hit F5. We did drop off the research there. So we're going to start heading towards the nearest... Oh, you're not part of this group. Yeah, you are. Wait, oh, there we go. Alright, so we want to grab all of them. Ah, that's right. Alice in Adventures lost an arm in that fight. Okay, so we are going to go over and try and make our way to turn in the bounties. Why are you fighting me on this, AI? Because they should all be going the same speed. That's the whole thing, is I want them to travel as a pack. And we got a lot of bodies, so they're going to take a long time to get anywhere, because unfortunately I have to get them to Holy Nation or United Cities territory, and because they're all skeletons, Holy Nation will not put up with us. Where? There you go. I don't know what your deal is. Alright. So we've got everyone working over here. So this is our city that we've got going. It's been running smoothly. We've got our home team who just home teams. I don't really have to do much with them these days. They just kind of figure it out. How are we doing on our research? I believe we got the research for plate armor with the intent of armoring up our people later. But I don't believe we built anything with that. So let's go ahead and make that happen. So crafting, metal. There's an exterior thing. I don't know if it'll actually work well there. But we got plate. And I gotta remember, yeah, so a plate beating bench. So this is for converting metal into plates. We'll also need to add some lights. Yeah, there's like spotlights and all that. That's fine. We'll put the post there. You've already got torches nearby you that we'll put another one there. And we'll need storage for the armor plates. Things are starting to get crowded in here because I'm putting too much stuff here. We got chainmail box. I don't think we actually have the ability to make chainmail yet. I don't think we do. That's fine. That'll do for right now. We'll let them work on that, and I'll get someone assigned to deal with that. Because what should start happening is pretty soon we'll start getting enough research that a lot of these things are going to become automated, and I won't need people to physically operate them. But we're not quite there yet. Normally I'd also want my my away team to have stopped and patched themselves up while they're running through there. Okay, of course you're having pathing issues. This is Kenshi after all, and what would be Kenshi without pathing issues? I don't think I'd recognize the game. Alright, so we're unintentionally getting lots of strength training because we're hauling all but one member of the Cannibals leadership with us right now. We just have like the main dude to deal with. It might be something that when I go and get plate mail armor on a bunch of my people, we might take another shot at him. We'll take way more hits with that, but they'll do way less damage, so way less likely to be fatal. Yeah, so we're building the bench there. Alright, who is going to be my person who takes over this? Probably you, I'm guessing? Probably you. Oh, it's a lone cannibal popped in here. Good for them. Oh, and we got someone is attacking my group over here. Oh, you're gonna have a bad time, Starving Bandit. You may want to reconsider that. Alright. And a random bone dog deciding to get in on this. Alright. And we've got the OG Mana on a 5-stream streak, so thank you so much for that. And hey, Infinity Simplex and She-Wolf. Having a good weekend so far. Yeah, everyone's getting patched up as best they can. Yeah, they seem to having issues bandaging each other up where they're like getting each other's way. That's fine, they'll figure it out. Or they won't. I don't really know. Alright, so we'll get that group going again. Hop back over here. So as Randall Thor is... I was starting to get Randall Thor working on making the plate armor. Actually, wait, didn't we have Luxray making the armor? No, Luxray was making weapons. Who did I have who was working on the armor? It was... There we go, it was Horse. So once they get... I mean, they got that built. So get Horse in here. And that becomes your new priority over that. And then you'll also make the plate if you don't have... Whatever. Okay. And so what type of armor are we going to make? Okay. So you can make a heart protector, which gives us a little bit of melee defense of only the chest. An armored rag shirt, which gives a little bit of martial arts, penalizes our athletics, but covers both our legs. We get armored rags there. Same deal, a little bit of penalty to our combat ability, and our defense. Again, you get the Holy Nation armor, which gives us pretty good coverage to most areas. Not really looking like we get much of a penalty on there. Only covers the head halfway. We have the neck guard. We have the cuirass, which gives us a very severe penalty to like everything, but really good coverage. And the heavy cuirass, which is even more extreme. It gives us extremely high cut resistance and some blunt resistance, but significant penalties to a lot of stuff. Now I'm curious with these, if we wear these, what ends up happening. No penalty means we got this. Yeah, so I mean, the heart protector doesn't really offer much protection. Which one's worth the most? And I'll just have them start manufacturing that to train. Alright, so just start making the most ridiculous armor you can. Because I'll need them to continue training. Because what happens is with the grades on the different armor is you have the lighter armor as you add more like higher grades. So instead of going from like shoddy to, you know, high quality or whatever, they give you a little bit more protection. Whereas with like the really heavy armors, the big advantage is more it reduces the penalties than it gives you more benefit. So there's kind of an argument about which way is the way to go with a lot of that. A lot of times it's go light early, switch to heavy later. Some people will argue the opposite because the dexterity penalties or attack speed penalties, whatever, with later. All right, but we're on our way to cash in what's probably close to $200,000 in bounties. Looks like they've got... What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bounties. And it looks like 2 of our bounties had died, but that's okay. But I gotta get all the way over here to claim it. Nope, that's not the right answer. Keep pathed this way. But a bunch of our people who have been lacking in strength, this is good strength training for them. And an added bonus to all this is we, the last time, for those who missed, not only did we claim all these bounties, but we were making such a killing in regards to money. Not everyone in this group, but a good chunk of the people in this group. We actually have gone through with them to getting them some of the top of the line weapons that you can trade for. So not best weapons, or not like the metal weapons you can go from like beating certain enemies. They're not that good. Let's see, you like Kenshi? You're still trying to figure it out? Yeah, I enjoy Kenshi. Kenshi is a very complex game with a lot of jank that doesn't explain a whole lot. It is one of those games you also have to accept you're going to lose most of the fights you get in early game, and then as time goes on, that'll start switching to you more consistently win your fights versus losing them. Alright, we got some type of fight happening over here at home. River Raptors. At this point, yeah, once in a while River Raptor will knock people down. I mostly just got to swing in after the fact to make sure people still have med kits on them and all that. Like, you can see that we're just absolutely schooling them nowadays. And then everyone starts patching each other up real quick. That's all I gotta worry about is, if you don't watch them, eventually our characters will run out of medkits on them, and then after the fight, they'll be just left beaten up. Okay, surgeons. Alright. I kind of do like the idea of trying to take down the cannibal leader. He's pretty rough. There's definitely way worse. Like I think in just raw straight hits, I think Tin Fist was the highest. But I do know like the worst place to fight, if I remember correctly, is the Ashlands. You still doing your thing? Come on, man. Give it a rest. Which I know I've beaten Tin Fist before in runs past. I don't know if I've ever done the Ashlands one. Like, the Ashlands one has, I believe, the best or second best heavy weapon in the game normally. Now, granted, we are playing a modded version of the game, so who knows where it is. We're playing the Genesis mod, for those who don't know, which is an overhaul mod. The run I am preparing for YouTube is basically vanilla. It's not Genesis or anything like that. But that's because I'm doing a ridiculous challenge on that one. You're stuck in the hub a while until you made a dash for it, and somehow ended up in the Foglands. Oh, Foglands is a rough place. You mean to try out the Genesis mod? Yeah, it is a major overhaul mod. I would definitely say if you're going to do the Genesis mod, start a new save. You can do imports and all that, but you're probably best off just starting a new save. It's just too big of a mod to bring things forward. Yeah, no, generally, like, if you're in someplace like the hub and you're getting stuck there where you keep fighting and having to retreat back there, that means just keep fighting and retreating back to there until that isn't true. So I'm trying to avoid Bast because while I feel very confident I could fight a random Holy Nation group now without too much of a problem, I don't think I can do it while hauling 8 bodies. But I do think once we claim these bounties, I might roll into the smaller cannibal town that we had previously skipped, wipe it out as kind of more of a little bit of a training time, hopefully manage to get some armor made and all that for our people, and maybe we take another shot at the Grand Wizard. We might also have to like try to cheese him a little bit. It didn't seem like he had a ridiculously fast attack speed, so I'm wondering if I bait him out of his tower, if I can, or at least down to an open spot. I am wondering if I'll be able to do the thing where I could dodge away from time to time. Alright, so those are buddies. We like them. They're friends. I mean, I actually don't like them in the game. They keep slaves and all that. But in the context of in this run, they are technically allied with us because of how many bounties we've been claiming. Oh, gotcha. If you're in some city in the middle of the Foglands, you're in Mongrel. Is the name of that city. For the challenge run I'm doing, Mongrel is one of the main important cities. Which is not the one I'm playing here. The one I'm making for the video. Seems like they escort your bounties. Yeah, no, right now, because we're allies, it is one of those things that one of the groups, if they see us, they'll help us with our mission. But that didn't matter if I had the bounties or not. Every time we've crossed through, they've escorted us, which is really convenient, because then if we get in a Holy Nation patrol, I can usually just, kind of sidestep out of it, let them start fighting and walk away, and make it a not me problem. Which is good, because I'm going towards Stoat to drop off all the bounties, and we just don't move as fast right now. I am noticing the encumbrance is slowly getting better, as their strength is climbing. So if we went to any one of our characters, you could probably go to the strength stat, and yeah, it's jumping like 2% per tick. Which is how we actually get ourselves to be strong, is like, if you're playing this not on stream, so you're trying to, like, just do what's going to get you strong and not keep it entertaining for viewers and all that, it's very much a common strategy. Just grab a body and start doing laps with the body, like, mine ore, and just have the body being carried the entire time for the weight penalty, or whatever you're doing. Like for my team back at base, it was trying to train one of their skills, like one of them are strength-wise. I could have them grab a corpse and have them be the person who hauls stuff between everything, and they'll just keep running around the whole time with it. That, over time, you can come back and be ridiculous. There's a lot of the stats in the game that if you know, like, meta strategies to level, it can be absurd. For example, you can actually take off your, if you've got cybernetics, you can take off your arms and legs and go into stealth for the highest stealth count. Go into a hostile area where they can't actually reach you and just go back and forth. And you'll actually max out your stealth in, like, it could be under 10 minutes of real-life time. It's really absurd. On the run I'm doing for YouTube, I did that, so I'm at, like, 94 stealth, and it took me maybe 10-15 minutes to do. I'm, like, at athletics, like, 70 or 80. And that's just been, like, in an afternoon, like, in, like, 2 afternoons or whatever that I've recorded most of that. What are you? Empire Peasants. I think they'll leave us alone, but let's go around just in case. Like, we definitely fight them normally, it's just, I'm carrying so much in bounties that if one of those people gets knocked down who's got a bounty, then $40,000 potentially runs away. And it can be really hard to catch up with someone like that. Why go through that effort when you could use a cardboard box to sneak around? Kenshi doesn't have cardboard, sadly. We don't have the all-powerful cardboard box. With conveniently cut eye slot. The technology of cardboard has been lost to time. Kenshi is one of those worlds that has, like, really kind of a weird selection of what technology survived and what technology was lost. Like, we got these giant robotic people who run around and are sentient and everything like that, but then we don't have so many basic technologies. You saw a report the other day where I think it was that the Navy SEALs used cardboard boxes to escape detection by AI. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're buddies. Okay. I was like, who's that? Like, that's kind of one of the pros and cons with AI use, is AI is really good at predicting, like, or detecting fairly predictable things, but when it comes to new novel things, AI is terrible. So it's one of those things, because it's very sophisticated pattern recognition. AI is in a box. But yeah, that's actually one of the reasons that and this isn't even specifically AI, it's the, AI versus algorithms versus systems versus machine learning, where there is a lot of overlap. Okay, you do not have someone on your shoulder. You do not have someone. You do not have someone. You don't have someone. There we go. You have someone. Turn him in. Was he caught a bounty? Yep. Yay, 40,000. Longclaw does not have someone. Oh, I forgot I turned off the labels. Show character names? Okay. Okay. There's another 40,000 in the bank. Come on. All right. There's another 40,000 in the bank. Everyone's following Allison right now. I understand. There's another 40,000. All right. Honestly, all these high-level, cannibal people, if they ever have a break, I'm pretty sure they would wipe out half of the town's guards. Just comparing their stats and all that. Looks like you got a bounty. Is he dead? You only get half for that. Whatever. Give me the money. Alright, there's 20,000 in the bank because he died. And they're gonna put him in a prison cell anyways, because you wouldn't want the dead person to get away. That'd be just right out. All right, and another 40,000. So we did a number to the cannibal leadership. Has a bounty been set for the policeman? He has a bounty been set for the policeman. Where are you going with that person? Oh! You know what? Taking a cannibal as a slave? That checks out. I don't think it's right. Oh, Agnew can't talk to people? Alright, Agnew, do you have a bounty on you? You do. Okay, so we'll deal with that in a minute. I gotta remember that Agnew can't talk to people, so can't collect bounties and all that. So what we're gonna try to do is Agnew. Actually, let's grab the whole group. Go around back. And the OG mana cost recruitment. We were at 108,000. Uh-huh. I mean, we captured a lot of bounties. Okay. So we're gonna quick save this real fast. Agnew here, I said Agnew here, is gonna put down their bounty. And Cookie's gonna pick them up. Oh, it's still the people who are escorting me. I'm like, why are there people cornering me? Alright. You just want to see someone win Twitch? Alright, there's a 20,000 for the second one who died on transit. And just like that, we went from 108,000 to like 388,000. We claimed a lot of bounties there. So we're going to make a quick pit stop, since we're on this side of the map, to the Deadlands. And the reason we're making the pit stop to the Deadlands is Allison is missing an arm. So we need to make corrective action on that. By that I mean we'll watch the pathing absolutely fail. Oh, Kenshi pathing. I'd say never change, but actually very much please change. I like that it was clearly a group of slave traders who are just like looking at this heavily armed group who took down one of the major factions, like all but their main leadership person are like, maybe we could take them. Microsoft just doing their own thing over there. Are you still... Okay, so Agnew no longer looks like a slave, which is good. Alright. Because they were being held by the, Thrall Masters who we've already taken down. It'll be like 10 more years to get there. Wait for me. Alright. Alright. So they're watching... Is Allison the slowest one now? I have no idea what's going on with this. Some of them should be... Yes, they're all set to follow you still. Okay. I think what's happened is like someone, for some reason, someone they're having problems getting to do the robotics for And as a result, they're just not. Discovered Tengu's vault. Oh, we just haven't crossed through here. Yeah, we definitely don't want to mess with that. Just a second. What was the name of the game you're playing last night? Oh, The Tribe Must Survive. Yeah, no, that was excellent. I very much enjoyed that. I can definitely see playing that more on the channel. I do think it's one I don't want to just sit there and, like, do 2-3 days of. Because it is early access that I want to kind of, as it gets developed, check it out again and again. So I think what I might do is I might pop into it as, like, you know, when there's a day I have a stream, I'm like, I don't know what I want to play today. You know, do some Tribes Must Survive, knock it out, repeat. Yeah, we're fast enough that collectively as a full group I can just run away from some of those enemies. And they're weak enough it's not really worth my time. We could probably start pushing some of these vaults and all that we had to skip before, or not vaults, some of the places we had to skip earlier on because the enemies were just too tough for us. There's a good chance we can just roll in and take care of them now. Alright. Because we are starting to get a bunch of people to, like, the 50s and 60s. We got a couple that are lagging behind in, like, the mid-20s and 30s. Or we've got some that are, like, a weird mix of being, like, 40-something. Oh, here's one problem. Stop blocking. There we go. Yeah, we got a bunch of them that are sitting in, like, the mid-20s and all that. But that's not too unusual. Oh yeah, poor Rual. It's like, oh god, not the acid rain again. Why is it always the acid rain? That's okay. Hey, Bong Spill buddy, where are you going? Here. That is, honestly, that is the thing I'm looking forward to the most with Kenshi, too, is I just imagine the pathing can't possibly be worse. Alright, let's just go in here. Allison needs a new arm. So I'll go get one. Okay, so you need a right arm. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek here and see what you got for me. Alright, so you got a right arm we want to get for you. Probably not a steadfast. The composite arms are pretty fantastic. It looks like the composite arms meant to... Well, no, like, the composite arms are just amazing. Right arm of a blade one. That'd be if we wanted to have them be unarmed. And do that. I actually debated maybe that later on Rual will get that. Just have Rual get, like, nothing but the unarmed things. So a high-grade composite arm. Honestly, you don't really have what I want. We're gonna take what we can get. I guess we're going with a high-grade composite arm. That's fine. It's not my first choice, but it's what we got. And everyone else should be okay. Cool. What did Rual have? We might have some upgrades here. We've got... Actually, we don't have a whole lot of amazing things. Let's check the legs. We do have a specialist KLR leg, which is a very, very high amount of life leg, but hurts your athletics. I'm gonna think we'll leave that alone. I actually tend to like the skeleton legs more. We can upgrade your skeleton leg. I get a high grade left arm. Is there a better one? So you give me a little bit of every stat and unarmed. That gives me way more unarmed. I lose dexterity, but I gain strength. So it needs to be a left arm. That one's all around, but no strength bonus. We have the industrial arm, which is the extreme one. That's tempting. Blade arm masterwork. We would lose strength, we would lose swimming, thieving, and lockpicking, but we get plus 43 damage. You know what? Rual's gonna get some heckin' blade stuff. If it's a Mark II, I'll consider a leg. So Masterwork Mark II. We lose stealth, we don't get athletics, but 43 unarmed. Sure, why not? That was a right leg? Yeah, let's do it. So sadly, the left leg, we don't have a Mark II left leg. All right. So if we look at oh, for a moment I thought I had like an arc candle on there. So if we look at Rual now, Rual is no longer has normal limbs. He has basically swords for 2 of his limbs. So that should be kind of a fun change. Because Rual is an unarmed person. Oh, and also our money's gone. that 380,000, it's gone. Don't worry about it. All right. Yeah, so trying to remember. So this ruin we haven't cleared. The reprogramming one we didn't clear. And the Lost Armory I don't think we cleared. We did clear the Armory ruins, I believe. But what I'd like to do is, since we're in the neighborhood anyways, let's run down here and start clearing some of these things out. Because they got loots for us to do research and everything, and we're in the neighborhood. And you just don't want to path over there, do you? Good enough. All right. Oh, sorry. I don't have the mods listed. I need to get that added. It's basically the Genesis mod is the big one. We have the Dark UI, the Genesis mod, and the Brighter Nights, I believe, are the mods running right now. So it's pretty much Genesis mod and UI stuff. Yeah, so making standard grade, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, the problem, so, Cheeser's saying, I feel like at this point the Dark UI mod should just be added to the base game, everyone use it. I mean, the problem is Kenshi's UI, while it's designed to look kind of gritty and all that, they made the mistake that a lot of games do, that they try to make a thematic UI without consideration of how readable it is. And a lot of games make that same mistake, and then they get a bunch of complaints, and then they'll either go and have mods that go and fix it, or they'll have settings to get rid of their very pretty UI that's thematic but hard to read, because it's hard to read. Am I excited for Build 42? I am. We haven't had an announcement date of when it's coming yet or anything, so it's just kind of waiting. I suspect it'll be this year. But where a whole bunch of people are saying first quarter is getting pretty close to done. Yeah, coming soon, TM. Oh, are you responding to me? No, you're staying home. So the big downs that I have here... So they do have crossbows here to defend the position. But an added problem is Rual has to swim through the acid to get there. The others, it won't matter, but Rual has to go through the acid, which is not going to be great. Wait, where's Draconic? Where are you? Why are you pulling up the rear so much? You're not over encumbered. I guess you just got stuck on something. You can say with 100% certainty that Build 42 is coming no later than right now. No, sooner. I was about to say, it's like, so you're saying it's already out? What? Okay. So, we want to get the people off of the crossbows relatively fast. It looks like we've got 2 of them. One in the front, one in the back. So when we duck in there... So they're 50-something stats each. So they're tougher than a lot of our people here. Rual's not going to be able to do a whole lot in this fight because of how injured they already are. This is actually going to be a tough fight. Because those crossbows absolutely decimate. I don't really know how many are in there. I don't think I can bait them out with the design that well either. Let's try bringing it back here. Rual's not going to be able to bait them out because Rual is slowly burning to death. So definitely good feels there. Don't all run in there, please. Bring the target to us. So we can fight them 1 on like 14. Where are you going, man? Oh, all of you. There's your target. Give me a repair kit. Ooh! Ooh! $30,000 weapon. And unfortunately, it's bigger than my bag. Is that a heavy weapon? No. Who here can... Hey, I know that's not your thing, man. But Bong, you're gonna carry that, because that's a $30,000... Could you not run in there, please? Stop trying to run into the place where they've got all the crossbows. Okay, and that one's not worth nearly as much, so we'll grab it for just a second, dump it on the ground so I can't pick it back up and use it on me. And all the rest of you, run over here real fast and patch yourselves up. Our people are like in an absolute bloodlust right now. Alright, we got 3 engaged with us at the moment.
I guess we all have future pants. They're pants we're going to wear tomorrow. And the next day.
Alright, we can go ahead and grab your weapon and chuck it. And a repair kit. Stop running into the crossbows, please. Fight that person. Deal with them. When they're... No. All of you, fight this person. Don't go to the crossbows, please. Same here. All of you into this fight. All right. They just really want to go in there. So, oh, how has Sad Neil been working out for you? Oh, I like Sad Neil. He starts with, like, no stats. So, like, very genuinely, he's terrible when you get him. And he also whines about a lot of stuff. But, you know, it's Sad Neil. It's not his fault he's terrible at absolutely everything. It might also actually be their fault. Please stop bathing in the acid. Oh, there's more of you. I can work with that. I mean, everyone we fight over here is one less I gotta deal with over there. Stop going to the crossbows. You're gonna kill yourselves. Those crossbows hurt a lot. Oh, there's another one over here. I am so frustrated with... Stop. They're not involved in our fight. We are literally behind cover. Stop. It's literally the same one, so I'll just drop theirs and take that. I think we've downed enough of them. I'm just gonna let them charge it. Looks like there's only 2 or 3 over there free. Like, all of them are just getting on this corner and then getting stuck and not participating anymore. Please stop. I just need you to stop. The AI is so frustrating right now. Like, it would be so bad if I assigned them to something and they would follow through and then they would run back when they could no longer reach a target. It's like, okay, that would make sense. But it's the fact that I assigned them to it and they're like, nope, there's too many fighting that person. Let's bail. Okay. Grab literally everyone. All right. Let's grab all of them, run them over here real fast. Okay. Nope, stop. Everyone hold. Medic. Yeah. This is worse than watching kids trying to kill themselves jumping downstairs. Yeah, it's very much just, man, you keep... There's so many broken skeletons here. So stop holding, because you need to defend yourselves. All right. Just trying to watch the ones that are armed so we can disarm them. And I get it. It's recognizing that there's an enemy over there That's like, we need to get involved, but it's having pathing problems getting around the corner. And so everyone is just standing there. It's pretty annoying. Okay, grab everyone back over here again. We are whittling this place down. It wouldn't be so bad. Stop. You're physically not in any danger. Nothing's hitting you. You're fine. Patch yourselves up. Get yourselves sorted. How's Rual doing? Not great. Okay. So now we're gonna actually go in here and fight the main group. Because they got a person up there who's shooting and a person over there who's shooting. So we just run over here. We should be able to get there with only a hit or two. What's going on over here? Oh. I can live with that. I live with it being distracted for a moment. We're all just getting absolutely wrecked by the acid. I'll deal with that in a minute. Alright, so we've got them off that one. Where was the one you were fighting? Oh, it got pushed up here. Yeah, they keep glitching out. Please. Actually defend yourself. Alright, so we are fighting a bunch of separate fights everywhere. And Agnew is stuck. The important thing is no one is on those crossbows just pelting us the entire time. Alright. And grab those and that should kill it, and then these aren't worth anything. Oh, that's another one that's downed over there. Alright. And... so this is definitely a rough spot, mostly because like pathing problems and that kind of bit, and then just those sentries, because you notice they were hitting us for like 120, 150 per pop, like almost no mitigation to speak of. You are a toughie. All right. Can you pick them up? Alright, because they were stuck in the corner. And what's Longclaw doing? Oh, they're repairing themselves. Okay, so give everyone a chance to recover for a minute. That was just a sloppy fight. There are going to be a bunch that'll probably get back up, so we want to keep repairing everyone up as much as we can. Case in point. Oh, there's one we didn't take the weapon from, and its repair kit. Alright, that's another one with 20,000. Do we have someone I want to toss that over to real fast? Is that better than yours? I think it's probably better than the Arbiter's one, right? Congratulations, you got yourself an upgrade. Oh, there's another one over here that's got a weapon. I'm also just trying to do it just to grab all their med kits so they can't patch themselves up. So that when they die, they stay dead. Alright. Ooh. Even Rual has a 0% chance of opening that box. That is certainly something. Oh, you know what? You have 0% because they gave you that. Wronger can probably get in there, can't they? No? Is there anyone in our group who can successfully pick the lock in that? We've got one. One of the Arbiters has enough skill to pop the lock. Bound to be something really good there. Can't pick the lock, just take the whole chest with you. They should be able to do that. Not really, like game mechanics, I know why they wouldn't be. But you'd assume in real life. Alright, everyone who isn't the Arbiter right now, if I could ask you to murder that skeleton. Alright, come on. And they're just glitching all over the place trying to find room. That is definitely a tough lock. Like I said, I'm hopeful we'll get something really good out of it. Like, getting a lot of ancient books would help a lot, because we're missing those for a bunch of our research. An AI core, too, would be fantastic. My luck, it'll be just some, like, random junk that I don't really care about. Alright, well, what can we have people work on in the meantime? Oh. It's all locked. That's fine. What is that lockpicking skill getting up to? Well, I guess it's not that high. You're only at 40. Everyone gets to wait patiently for our loot. But at least it means rolls. There we go. Yeah, that's not bad. We'll grab all of you. Here, we'll actually... So I can grab the tools for someone else to pop a lock easier. Metal warehouse, some of these. Grab some of those. You can grab that and that. Grab more of those. I don't care about the rest of the stuff in here. That's not bad. Got a bunch of engineering patterns and all that. Those will be nice once we get some more ancient books. Ow! Stop going into the water. So the big problem is Rual, when he goes to the water, it's acid, and being not a skeleton, it kills him. Do you have hold here? Meanwhile, I don't know which of the arbiters was the one that could pick the lock. They all say 0%. There we go. Alright. So we're just going to work on this. The good news is as we're gaining more and more skill with that. Where's Rual? Of course you're over there. That's fine. Yeah, so we got electrical workbench, we got electrical storage, got another chest here, we got a box, just general gearbox you might be able to grab something from. That'll have some value, the rest of it's all junk. Don't you dare. Alright, let's look what we got here. Okay, so we got a KLR specialist leg, a bunch more engineering patterns, so those are all good. Got another round of tools. You work on the next lock. Okay. The KLR leg, we will keep that. We can grab these. Alright, so that should do there. Alright, a lot of these robots are getting beat up to the point that they'll stop getting up on us. Well, hello. Repair kits, I guess. And the rest of it's all garbage. Alright, so that's this side of the platform all sorted. A couple more lock boxes on that end. And two more on this end. Alright. Let Rual check the not locked ones real fast. Maybe. Junk in that one. And then more tools in that one, but mostly junk. Okay, so you get to work. We can have Darth go get this one. Tools are fine, that has value. Okay. I don't really know why they're all running over there, that I can't seem to get them to cooperate with me, but it is whatever. Oh, it's because they're still set to escort. How? Okay. So 25 is how ridiculously high I could stack that. Alright, got more of these. You're full, you're full, you're full. You've got some space. Alright, so we're getting lots of stuff. We're going to be able to just run to the town back here and sell this all at a ridiculous premium, which will be nice. And I believe there was one lockbox over here, which Darth is actually capable of picking on their own. Alright, and with that, this site is basically wiped out. It still says there's residents here, but I don't think many of them are going to ever get back up. Oh, of course you're stuck. I will say that is one nice thing about when you have a solo run, which is a lot harder in a lot of ways to do, is you don't have to worry about like the glitchiness of people running all over the place on top of each other. Alright, so Rual is going to have to deal with taking another acid bath, so that's going to be wonderful. Have a good time. Where? Well, if you don't go as close to the fast as you can to the shore as possible. Okay, there we go. Kenshi pathing. Again, Kenshi pathing. We'll get there someday. There you go. Alright, that is just definitely the one thing. Can't pick a lock, just hold... Yeah, it is just one of those things that, like, the pathing get really, really dicey with that. We are managing to grab ourselves a bunch of tech. It would be nice if we would have gotten an AI core out of that, but we were not. But I figure we check that while we're here. We'll more than likely have to run for the skeleton beds we've got back home, but that's fine, because we were talking about going after... You know, going after the other cannibal town, and then trying to see if maybe with a little bit of gear we can make some moves on the Grand Wizard of the Cannibals and all that. I do think we keep that leg, by the way. We'll sell a lot of this other junk, but I do think we keep the leg. Because that leg is a good one for when we lose one. I can just keep it stashed at the home and everything. Okay, so we're just gonna go here.
Rual is legging it.
I am legging it. How's it going, Longclaw? Hope you're having a good day. Alright. What you got? Sell that. Sell these. Sell those. One of these people I gave a heavy weapon who was not skilled in a heavy weapon. You're actually skilled in that. So let's watch the ones that have the heavy weapons, because one of them we gave the $40,000 weapon that they weren't actually proficient in. Just figured we'd go ahead and pass it over. Do good, had fun. Almost wiping your whole Pathfinder party yesterday. Your whole Pathfinder party? Gotcha. We are wiping this person out with as ridiculous much money as they have. It's kind of surprising. Yeah, get rid of the tools. We don't want to lug those around. So keep the leg. Look, sir, do you have anything I can mix in with my already existing stuff to try and make ends meet? It's the right leg already? Yeah. I don't think you got anything new for us, unfortunately. So that's kind of a bummer. I don't think I have anyone else who... I think Allison's the only other one who had a replacement limb, which they had a right arm. But we already looked at this inventory. Everyone else still has their starting limbs. So we've wiped them out of all their money. They don't really have anything we want, so we're done in this shop. We can go to the bar next and sell stuff. Try and make end meet as best we can. Alright. And we're back up to 400,000 again because there's how much ridiculous stuff we got out of that place. Alright. Okay, so let's take a look at our inventories. Who still has stuff to sell? You do. Long Claw's good, you're good. Are you the one who's not supposed to be using that? No, you got heavy weapon skill. Alright, we wiped you out. You're the one. There we go. So you're all done money-wise. So let's go to the scrap house real fast. We could probably sell off the last bit of stuff here at the higher price. We could potentially look at our weapons and also see if there's anyone who could use an upgrade. And get on with our lives. Trying to remember... I think, wasn't there the Ruins by Holy Nation territory was the best place for armor as far as purchasing armor, if I remember correctly? Like, there's some that have special armor for their groups or whatever. Okay. We can go up here and see what we can get as far as the weapon categories. Alright, so sell that. Sell this. Okay, so let's look here. You don't use weapons. You've got a Mark III horse chopper. You've got a Mark I fragment axe, so we could probably do better than a Mark I fragment axe. Yeah, there's the fragment axe Mark I. Let's just take a look at that. So that's 1.8 damage. These are heavy weapons class. I was hoping to find... That's fine. We'll be fine with that. We already bought... We have the Matau there. Edge type 2. A Mark I Manslayer Spear, I forgot about that. Darth is doing martial arts as well. You also had a heavy pole arm. Got a Mark I Foreign Saber. Let's see if we have a better than a Mark I here. Mark II, that's a small improvement. Okay. You got a Mark II fragment axe, so you're pretty much good. You got a Mark III long cleaver. Edge 3. Edge 3. Matau. Edge 1. Alright. Hey, Rhetorical, how's it going? So I think we're gonna get what we got of weapons out of you. Yeah, Masterwork Steady Arm. But they also got a bunch of research stuff. So I'm willing to lose a lot of money to getting that research stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4 AI cores. Which is absurd amounts of money. Is there anything else I intend on selling? Alright. And we'll take an ancient book as well, because we're here. And we have spent all of our money once again. We had money, and it's gone. Yeah, goodbye, money. Yep. Nah, not going so well. Just knocking it up. Bad mental health day. Well, I do hope your mental health for, like, the day and all that does improve from here. So the Armory Ruins, we cleaned out. There was nothing there. The next would be the Reprogramming Center. We looked at that previously and went, oh god, it's scary. Now we're in better shape, except for Rual. Poor Rual is just along for the ride and just not faring well because acid rain. Oh. Darth is late to that party. Where are some of you going? Rally up. Try again. Alright, we're gonna check out the next place. We're basically getting a bunch of research stuff, grabbing equipment while we're in this place. Then we're gonna run back up and take on the next cannibal village, wipe it out. Then we're gonna start pushing in towards trying to make another play on the Grand Wizard they have there, take him out. Because we went up to him last time and he straight up murdered us. Like, it was not a related participation. Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. Money is meant to be used in the game. Twitch is pushing turbo? Yes. There was actually one of the creator circles I was in, we had someone who was like, you know, how do you feel about, like, over top of chat, them pushing turbo as opposed to, like, subs or whatever, you know, arguably, the argument being basically they're taking creator money and putting it to turbo. And it's like, I don't know. I personally don't think people... Like, the place where it's a cutoff between turbo or subs is if you're going to sub to, it's like 2 to 3 channels is kind of where the cutoff is, where turbo starts being the better value for your buck. If you're trying to just exclusively avoid ads, I generally find more people sub to support the channel, get the emotes, that kind of stuff, than specifically going for, trying to do it for that. 2-0, bump the sub price. It depends on where you're at, but yeah, generally. Alright, so this is probably going to go badly, but I'm just going to go with, let's run in the front door. Why are they all yelling, Master? I don't... really know what's going on here. They're now your friends. Oh yeah, this place. I forgot about this place. Where you walk in and everything looks scary and they're like, you know, we must protect this person. It's like, Oh, and I forgot. Night Dweller on their 25 stream streak, so thank you so much for that. They claim support streamers without interruptions, so they get more from Turbo. Or do they go Twitch? So, to explain it, if you sub to the channel, I get half of the amount of money you get from the sub. But in addition, no matter how you get rid of your ads, so far as like whether it's Twitch Turbo or like a tier 1, 2, or 3 sub or a Prime sub or anything like that, the ads you don't see, I am compensated as if you did. So regardless of if you have a sub or not, I'm paid out as if you saw the ad. Yeah, so the sub does more mileage, but Twitch Turbo does support support us as content creator. It's those things I push back on. There's been a lot of people who will be like, "Oh, Twitch Turbo's bad for creators." I'm like, not really. No. Like, because the bulk of your viewers don't sub in any capacity. Because understandably, if you're tuning into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 streamers, most people are neither comfortable or able to afford dropping, like if it was like 10 streams, 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks, depending on where they're at, in just subs. It'd be very unrealistic. And you have to be there when you're not there, nothing to the streamer, or very little when you tune in rarely. Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Any more drag at turbo? Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, very genuinely, people get turbo. Like, the stance, I haven't had to say it in a long time, but it's like, hey, whatever you got to do to make the viewing experience nice for you, or tolerable, or fun, or whatever, that's completely reasonable. But like I was saying, for me, I find the bulk of subs for this channel, and this is just going by what I've heard people say, is it's not specifically about ads, because, again, if you're subbing to more than, like, 2 channels, there's more cost-effective ways to avoid the ads. But, for a lot of people, it's, getting the increased number of points, the emotes are a really, really big one, just generally supporting the content creator, like, all of the above. That is the really big draw for a lot of people, especially the emotes, honestly. Like, people put in a lot for emotes. I know a number of people who very genuinely, if this person has decent emotes, go out of their way to sub to get access to those emotes. Alright, look. I don't have room for those. Okay, wronger. Go loot the ancient safe. I don't think that'll be worth picking up and lugging around. Okay, so I've got what's up here in this room from the looks of it. I'm not seeing a chest snuck along the walls, because they'll do that sometimes. I have, like, a big locked chest just tucked away in the corner. But, doesn't look like it up here. Bunch of skeleton beds. And they're free skeleton beds. So it almost feels like just the gimmick of having this large group is the big thing. And then you also got some stuff that's nice down here as well. So if you aim for viewers to have Twitch Turbo, could you run... Let's see. So if you aim to have your viewers have Twitch Turbo, you could run 2 minutes of ad every 5 minutes, and you'd be compensated for that. I mean, in theory, but ultimately, like I was saying before, most viewers, they don't sub, they don't Twitch Turbo, because understandably, they may not be in the financial situation that they can justify that, or that makes sense, or, fill in the many blanks there. Oh, there's no power. Of course not. Alright, well that place is okay in loot. Not really that amazing, but that's okay. So we'll go up to the next place. Half of them will get in fight with whatever's around. That is a lot of units following us. Which is the reason why when I opened the door last time I went, you'd scare away viewers with that. That's basically the thing, is you could in theory blast the ads very heavily, but more than likely it's not a viable strategy. Because sure, if everyone was subbed to your channel or had Twitch Turbo or whatever, you could kind of stick it to the advertisers. But more realistically, it's just not going to be a thing. Yeah, just having pre-roll ads is chilling enough that most creators run mid-rolls to get rid of them. Because you can almost night and day see when you turn on, or when you turn off your mid-roll ads and the pre-rolls take effect. Well, Sad Neil just died, so let's go ahead and reload that. But it's like very, very genuinely, if people join in, they get slapped with an ad the moment they walk in the door. They nope out immediately. That's right. We tried to push in here before, and it was just as hard as the things hit. That's that was one of the things I debated as we're like, I half debated doing an import of the save and reducing the total damage. Because to me, having just regular trash enemies that are on the higher end, being able to like one-tap you to death as like normal thing for some, like, it's one thing when you have like no toughness, but with like some toughness, just getting one-tapped, it's not like the huge scary. I think it's kind of a rubbish enemy like this. It's the whole thing, but I don't know what the implications of the import would be. Let's go and grab that out of you real fast, because that should make you dead. Cool. Yeah, because, like, 150, 160 from a normal enemy, like, just a regular enemy, is really absurd. Like, I'm fine with it being, like, leviathans and really big, scary stuff, or, like, the enemies in the Ashlands being that high. It's like, sure, it's an endgame enemy. They're supposed to be scary. But this is a stupid little spider. So I've been tempted to risk doing an import on the save, because for the record, when you turn down the damage, it's not like other games where you say turn down damage and it just reduces enemy damage. It's turn down damage for everyone. So your odds of winning and losing the fight are kind of the same. The big difference being, when it comes to it, he got hit for 268 from from just a rubbish enemy. Like, and sure, armor helps, but it only goes so far. Alright, so those both should stay dead. So this time, nobody died. As you said, with ads that ridiculous, you would be aiming almost exclusively for views or ad block. Well, ad block very rarely works on Twitch. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, if you get it to work, cool. Like, that's not going to upset me in any way. It's not my problem, that's the Twitch problem. But, it is just kind of one of those things that you could do it. The only way I could see that working is if you were someone who had, like, thousands of active viewers and were ready to just completely torch your community for a quick cash out. Because like I said, there would be... the platform itself would stop promoting you because your viewership would kind of collapse. And it's just not, ooh, okay. That's a fun one. I don't think we're gonna use it right now, I don't believe, but let's grab that for if we need a replacement leg. It would be one of those things that, yeah, like on paper, sure, maybe, but in actual reality, the chances of that going and getting anywhere would be next to nothing. Like, you're better off just using the platform normally. That's fun and all, but not really what I need. We've got a Topper MK1. That's not worth. We're gonna leave it. This whole conversation reminds you of TV station tried to use the ad system they used in VS, which was like 5 minutes of show and 30 seconds of ads. Yeah, they did that for one evening because their phone system got overloaded with pissed off viewers complaining about it. Yeah, no, and I get the idea is that, well, some number of your viewers would not be exposed to ads at all because, they're subbed, they're whatever. And sure, on paper that works, but the reality is, literally none of them can open that. And I don't think we've seen any tools around here. We have tools, and I can just use that to open this over here. So that's an empty display case for weapons. You have your opinion about Twitch Turbo and ads? Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things. I know a lot of people get really upset about ads. The unfortunate reality is the way we've set up the internet these days, that's just how we fund it. If people aren't paying money out of pocket, the money has to come from somewhere. And sure, they could probably come up with better monetization schemes and yada yada yada. But that's just kind of the reality. Nothing is free, because if it was, you wouldn't be in business. But at the same time, it sucks. There's like next to nothing up here. So we've got one box that I could not manage the lock. And I don't believe, because we got rid of all the tools, because I usually don't like lugging them around. But surprisingly, literally no one in this group has enough lockpicking to get into it, which is kind of a surprise, but also not really. Because they are skeletons, so... yeah, penalties. Okay. No one has tools. Does anyone have strength? Nope. What I could do real fast is I'll have them hang here, because that'll give Rual a moment to heal up. We have Rongor go for a run. And check for tools of that previous ruin we're at. And if not, we can just run them to town and make it all that happen. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, niche probability would not be viable in most categories. You have to have some sort of monopoly. Even if you had like a monopoly watching, I feel like it's one of those things you would do, and it would be a temporary thing. So what do you carry on you? Basically nothing we care about. Good to know. It'd just be one of those things that you would be pretty much burning down your audience. Because even if you had people who were on board with like, hey, we're just gonna take Twitch for, take Twitch for their money, that kind of thing, you'd probably find a lot of people would take problem with that. If you did manage to find success doing that, congratulations, you would be the one who'd ruin it for everyone, where, Twitch would take that away from us. And you would be pretty much universally despised on the platform for it, so it's just not worth it. Like, a lot of times when people figure out, like, ways to game the system, a lot of times, depending on how they game the system, it either is considered a violation of TOS and they get banned, or it's one of those things that it creates a problem that Twitch then has to respond to by making some new policy that everyone doesn't like and it hurts everyone, and it just does a thing. Let's see, most people don't want to listen about ads, but when people sub or have Twitch Turbo and have to listen about ads instead of watching them, it's not much better. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to move on away from the conversation. The fact of the matter is the internet's supported by ads. If you're not paying for it, you're being advertised or your data's being sold. That's just the reality of it. That's just the way it's probably always going to be. Whether you like it or not, I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's just kind of how it works. They're going to make their money somehow. And if it's not coming out of your pocket, it's coming out of someone's. What is going on? Oh, did you run back? Because I was run. Oh yeah, it's progressing well. How many bounties have you claimed? As far as actual numbers, I have no idea off the top of my head. Quite a few. We haven't gotten like the big name bounties sorted yet. Like, we haven't got, like, Tin Fist or any of those ones yet. We're still working our way up strength-wise. But, we have captured all of the minor leaders of the cannibals. And we have just the main leader is the one missing. Oh, 260's earlier settlement? Yeah, 260,000 today. So no, Cadden or Bugman? Not yet. Nope, we're still working on it. Because, like, you look at a bunch of people, they're in their mid-30s and all that, skill-wise. And very much, it seems like the Genesis mod took the damage settings and just cranked them up. And I was actually lamenting earlier that I'm half tempted, and I'm concerned about side effects of doing an import and turning the damage down. And for the record, it's not a difficulty thing. In general, it's a prevent death kind of thing, because it nerfs your damage and their damage equally. But, like, just an Iron Spider was hitting my people who have, 50, 60 toughness on some of them for, like, 280, 290 damage. Which is just absurd. That is from full health, single shot, dead kind of territory for a trash mob. Not trash. It's a tough enemy. But there's a difference between tough enemy and, okay, hang on, let's be reasonable here. Because I'm a little concerned, if they keep that tuning the way it is, I'm going to go fight Bugman, and every single hit is going to kill whoever gets connected. And yeah, I could do a thing where I give everyone a crossbow and just, cheese them that way, which is fine. Kenshi is a game about cheesing in a lot of ways, but it feels like a weird decision to crank that up so it insta-gives your people. It's not a very satisfactory way to fight, because that's forced cheesing versus being able to eventually get your character up to a point that can handle it. Because some of our characters are halfway to maxed out in toughness. I mean, a lot of them are in their mid-30s, and yeah, we got some in our 50s, almost 60s. Where are you going? Oh, it's the robots that we had earlier, that because they're allies, our character's like, we need to repair them. You know what, we're gonna go ahead and turn that off because it's starting to be obnoxious where people are running everywhere. So help and heal allies is off the agenda now. But yeah, the only reason I haven't done it is importing can have lots of side effects. And so I do worry I might do that and it might mess up my base, or we'll have characters we have captured and they'll be like uncaptured or weird stuff like that. Because I haven't had to import files, so it's one of those things I don't really know how good, bad, or otherwise it gets. Because I mean, at least for me, like, I enjoy watching a little bit of cheese in Kenshi. Wouldn't it reset all the ruins and stuff you looked at become repopulated too? That's what I don't know, because I've only had to do like 1 or 2 imports in all of my time playing Kenshi. And that was when, like, they did an update on a mod that broke stuff, so you had to import it to, like, unscuff it. And I usually don't stick to it, so I don't really know what's happening. But like I said, because I don't know the side effects is the reason I've just left it alone. And I don't believe you can change... Well, I mean, you know what you probably could do? I'm willing to bet it's like XML or something like that is probably the settings to the map. And I know you could drop it from the damage there to 0.5 is, I think, the lowest. Like I said, it doesn't increase the odds of winning or losing fights because it nerfs you as well as the enemy. But I'm not aware of being able to adjust that. There's probably mods to do it, but I don't want to get into that either. So I've put up with it and left it alone. Like, the fact that these are one-tapping people that aren't particularly weak is a little concerning. Like, when we went and fought the leader of the cannibals and he was one-tapping us, I'm like, yeah, that's a scary dude. He's supposed to be terrifying. That makes sense. Okay, I mean, I'll take that for selling. Alright. So, we've looted both these places. Didn't get quite what I was looking for. But that's fine. What I am probably going to do is, if I remember correctly... I think it might have been Wend. These ruins in Wend, I believe, might be what I'm looking for. I want to say those ruins in Wend, I think it was an armor merchant. There was someone in that ruin I remember was useful, but I don't remember what his deal. I want to say it was an armor merchant for really good armor. So I'm trying to sit there and do what we can. It feels like this mod was designed that they wanted to nerf the strategy of going martial arts and giving yourself obscenely high dodge and just not having to worry about anything. Which is fair, because that was incredibly overpowered. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I guess everyone has to be wearing plate to just get, you know, the 60, 70, 80% damage reduction. We'll see. I've got someone who's making plate armor now to start working on that. Oh, we got another ruin here. Let's go ahead and drop into that ruin. We'll give that a go and see how that goes. It's gonna be a crap ruin, isn't it? Yeah, so it looks like there's nothing in this ruin building, but we got this here. So there's no crossbows in this one. I really just see the one robot. There's probably a couple of them in there. Let's go ahead and we'll just run in here to get cover so we stop being blasted with acid rain. He'll try just duking it out. Hey, people, how's it going? But yeah, so it might be a thing to look into after stream of trying to adjust the damage to normal Kenshi damage. Oh yeah, we may have pulled more than we should. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Let's go grab that ones. Get there. Drop their weapon. Alright, we got another one knocked down. No, don't run away. Get it sorted out. $30,000. Chucking on the ground. Can't make room for it. Go grab... Oh. Are you down? What are you doing? Oh, you're still getting up. You got knocked down. Go get that one. Take its repair kit and its weapon first. You physically can't. I understand. It's one thing that might help with this. Didn't help as much as I hoped it would. Do that, drop this. I'm just trying to clear that out as much as possible. And grab you. Grab you. Plop you down here. Just chuck that on the ground. Bring you out here. Shift these down. There. Okay, so you're doing that out there. We got another one down over here. And mostly it's I just don't want them getting back up and repairing themselves and then getting back up and repairing themselves and getting back up and repairing themselves and just being this ongoing fight. It's not the end of the world if that does happen. Alright. Warning! Scrawny raid moving towards our outpost. Well, that is mildly inconvenient.
Take a sip. What's the worst that could happen?
Alright. There's so many valuable weapons. There's like, nah. Ground. Get everyone under here again. Okay, so we've got the scrawny raid going. Okay, it's relatively close. We'll need to keep an eye on that. We might end up needing to have those people retreat kind of thing out of the fight. It's fine if that happens. Alright, we'll give them a chance to repair. How is things going in the home squad? So you're still working on that. Food should still be in great shape. It is amazing shape. We are still working on armor. We're getting up to high grade for plate. Alright. Is anyone able to pop these locks? Got an Arbiter who's capable. Okay, and everyone else is just fighting here. And how's the movement of that cannibal horde going? I'm in that situation again. I want to kind of just slam the doors and see that. Alright, so you got that door one open. Just go to the next one. You get that one open. All right. Did you get that open? Oh, you're on this side. We're just gonna unlock everything and then I'm gonna start looting it. Alright. In just a minute, I'm gonna have to take a quick break because I need to use the restroom, and holy crap, time has been flying. Alright, so bear with me, chat. I need to use the restroom real fast, and I'll be right back. Trees are the real enemy. Never trust a tree. They will betray you at your moment of weakness. They will look you in the eyes as you reach forward and say, "Please help me," and they will spit on your hand and slap it away and watch you fail. And by that I mean a zombie will walk through and grab you and bite you in the face. But, you know, sometimes you got to just talk it up a little. And since there's two sides of that airlock, this shouldn't be really that bad. Well, we've lost. I thought we had depressurized it.
This event may be recorded for training and quality.
So that's the thing that confused me, is we depressurized it and was exposed to the entire opening. Well, and that brings the end of our hard space shipbreaker run. Let's do this the uncontrolled way. All right. I didn't do that right. So I actually didn't mean to hit my my stream deck as put a soda on my desk, but I am back. So we'll do that. I was misreading the time as well, going, oh no, it's so much later than I thought. It's like, oh right, no, it's still, time is still flying. I just misread clock to make it think I was flying even more than it actually was. Ooh, okay. All right. That's a lot of money. I don't know where I'm gonna put that money, but it is a lot of money. Because these are all things that are marked up extremely high with the local group. So these ruins are being very lucrative, but also my inventory hurts. It hurts right in my inventory. Are you done yet? Nope, you're working on it. Alright. So we're just trying our best to get, like, all the stuff here. I need to keep an eye on that cannibal raid, though. Because I do want them to fight it out. Let's go. They could just work at that down there. I do want them to try to fight it out, but I'm also not super confident on it because I don't know how it's going to decide the scaling on a lot of stuff. Because I also don't know how many are coming. They are going to come from this route. Like, there they are. Ooh, that is a big group of scrawny cannibals. And you're not anywhere as strong as the other group. I mean, you're in your teens to mid-30s. Alright, I'm torn if we fight this. We could try it. So close the gate. Everyone stop what you're doing. Jobs off. Get into positions. And you all get on the guns. I feel like I've put multiple people in the same spot. I'm wondering if it even makes sense to have the group wait over here rather than fight at the front door, so that they're under the view of the ballistas for as long as possible. Okay, so Lardine will step away. She will get on that one. Hobbs, buddy. This is not the time for a snack. Get back into position. They landed a couple hits on their way in. I kind of want them to try and stay as much in this area as possible. So hold here. Wait for them to close on us. Let the crossbows do their thing. Okay, stop holding. Get in there. That does appear to have split the group a little bit, which should work a little bit in my favor. That said, it is a lot of cannibals. And one of the fears is when people go down, they get grabbed right away. So if there's ever a gap in the fight, there's a good chance that the cannibal will just try and take off with their victim. All right. I need you to score more decisive hits, please. Alright, no one's retreating yet. So we're lucky and She-Wolf manages to stay in this fight a little bit longer. Some of these people might actually manage to get back up. If they get back up, they can get back into the fight to help out. So you're being carried, so you're not going anywhere. So if we're quick, we might actually be able to recover the handful of people who are running. Because Horse is ready to fight more if we can get anyone to stand up real fast. Same with Bentley. And they're trying to run towards the middle, so we can probably catch them pretty fast. The Bone Dog should be getting up pretty soon. Yeah, Bone Dog run down to try and save one of them and just repeat the process. Looks like the one on Horse might be going down. Okay, so try to... I need you to bandage first, because you're going to go down any second if you don't bandage yourself. Bone Dog, go rescue Enoch first. Just have Bone Dog blast past, not even waste any time. Because Enoch's ready to get back in the fight, I believe. So you can go rescue Enoch. They're the farthest ahead. Vortis is patching them up. We've got others getting up to help out. They'll just need to patch themselves up real fast before they continue on. And then Bentley's back in it. Soman's back in it. So, dicey, but it does look like we have weathered the fight. Is anyone gonna die? Luxray is in trouble. Yeah, so Luxray is the only one who's got an injury that's pretty serious. Do you have medical on you? You do not. Go get some. Because there's always a concern with like leaving them just take care of themselves for a long time. Because eventually they do run out of medical stuff. And it's easy for people to go untreated because they just don't have medical stuff handy. Let's go click on jobs. And the reason I'm doing that is with the jobs, if they don't have medical stuff, we'll see them run off to go work on like cooking food or something like that. But yeah, so I would say that actually went all right. Like I said, it got dicey. We actually had everyone down and people running off. Let's make sure we don't see any of our blue dots anywhere they're not supposed to be. But it was close enough that we were able to get back up and save the few people being taken away and go from there. So just watching to make sure none of our unconscious people get grabbed, because they should all be taken to bed and brought back up. Yeah, that leg got messed up. I'm actually surprised Lardine didn't lose that leg. Okay. Hey. Honestly, having a close victory is usually your best outcome so far as, getting stats. Because it means everyone kind of got pushed to their limits. Alright, so Long Claw. We have a Specialist KLR arm, a whole bunch of engineering. So heck yeah to that. Alright, your inventory is full, so it's JD's turn to grab some loot. So JD has tools if I have to pop a chest with some tools. Okay. Happy to help, even just a mule. I mean, you've been participating in the fights. Your character's actually plenty capable now. Alright, so we'll have JD go pick that up as well. Meanwhile, you three run over here. Alright, so your inventory is full. So, macros, please, get over here. Alright. For those who don't know, Longclaw, fantastic content creator on the platform. Sadly, they are based in South... I mean, it's being based in South Korea isn't the sadly part. But sadly, Twitch is shutting down in South Korea, which does mean they are on their final days on the platform. So, it is someone to check out and drop a file. They play stuff like Mountain Blade, among many other games. But pretty soon they will be moving over to YouTube because they don't really get a choice in the matter. They gotta go somewhere because they can't stay here. For those who don't know what's going on there, it isn't anything malicious or negative on Twitch's part. It isn't Twitch being money grubbing or yada yada yada. It's just unfortunately the ISPs in South Korea have pretty unreasonable approaches to a lot of the monetization stuff there that it just makes it so streaming services pretty much can't operate there for the most part. It's been really, really rough for a lot of people there. I don't really want to run back to... Yeah. Well, South Korea is slapping Twitch with a large fine, but it's an irrelevant fine because they're shutting down, so... Normally when you get slapped with a large fine like that, the thing they threaten you with is you may not do business in their country while you have that fine kind of thing. But it doesn't matter if they're already shutting down. It was actually, to be clear, my understanding was the fine was related to discontinuing VODs in South Korea previously, along the same lines of what's going on here with the Twitch shutting down entirely. So it's kind of like they got hit with a fine, but it's kind of a moot point. Now, if they were going after Amazon collectively, then it would be more than lip service kind of thing, but it almost feels like they're trying to be like, no, Twitch is the bad. Twitch is the bad. They're the ones. But it's, again, policies with the ISPs are really the problem. Which isn't me being like Twitch good or whatever, it's just one of the things. Recently, Twitch's CEO said, Brazilian streamer, they are in for the love of the craft. Yeah. I would genuinely believe that from my interactions with the CEO. I've had nothing but good interactions with Twitch's new CEO. I've gotten to have an event where I got to meet them with just a handful of other creators that we effectively hung out and had dinner and that kind of thing. And stuff along that lines. Like I have nothing I would necessarily complain about with them. They very genuinely do believe he has a passion for it. Versus the old CEO, it felt like it was just business. Which is fine for it to be just business, but it is those things. It was me and a bunch of creators, so it wasn't me having it like exclusive or whatever. That should make it dead. Get out of the water so Rual doesn't run in there to patch you up and stand in acid. But yeah, no, it was what, like a month or two before TwitchCon, something like that. That is one of those things that very, very genuinely, like, he hung out, we had conversations, like, I had pretty mixed feelings with a lot of things that Twitch was doing before sitting down with him. But, you know, sitting down with him, he didn't try to, like, make up reasons to defend stuff or whatever. He was just very matter-of-fact about a lot of it, and was very reasonable about a lot of it as well. But you could tell he genuinely cared and wanted to see people succeed and all that. But, like, it wasn't like a formal dinner or, like, whatever, but he bought, like, a bunch of, you know, we were sitting at, like, table just eating all sorts of, like, not snacks, that's, like, appetizer kind of things. And just chilling and hanging out and talking when he was visiting Central Florida. Apparently we overuse Prime subscriptions. Yeah, I missed that comment. That's one of the things that, when it comes to people, you know, a lot of people being like, oh, Amazon's gonna, you know, shut down Twitch, like, it's not profitable. And it's like, well, no, it's blurrier than that. I do feel like the Twitch isn't profitable has a lot of asterisks after it, because Amazon does use Twitch Prime as a way of marketing Amazon Prime. So it really, really fuzzies the numbers when it comes to all that. So, you know, it says, most of us learn to remember about using it, since they never remind you with your Prime sub. I had a prediction that Prime subs would go away February this year, but they're finding other ways so far. Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that's... I was anticipating them not necessarily getting rid of Twitch Prime. I was anticipating them, you know, kind of knocking back some of the benefits. Like, I don't think they get rid of the advertisement-free thing, but, like, maybe have it, you know... It'd almost be, like, a half-tier sub kind of thing where you get, like, one or two benefits but not the others. It's not what I would want, but, like, it's a weird thing, because a lot of us have been, like, kind of figuring that Twitch Turbo was going to just go away, and a lot of people have been predicting that Twitch Prime will go away. Because, you know, Twitch is not profitable. And so they're going to figure out some way to do that. Otherwise, the alternative if Twitch doesn't figure out how to be profitable is Twitch goes the bye-bye. And then we all lose. But it's always this, you know, one of those things that's scary of like, okay, but how do they become profitable? And that's always the wild card.
Take a sip. What's the worst that could happen?
Let's see, at least in the Brazilian spaces I'm in here, there's a mass escape from the platform. But where would they be going? Because, like, okay, so they can go to YouTube, but a lot of the same complaints that you have, like, that people have, not you individually, that people have about Twitch, you can go right over to YouTube and be like, yeah, but worse. Like, for as much as people complain about advertisement on Twitch's platform, YouTube ads are so much worse. You can have an ad break on YouTube that's literally 15, 16 minutes long unless you go through and you hit skip. And only some of their ads can you skip, so it's like, it's not even that meaningful. And they will have ads like every 10, 15 minutes in some videos and all. I don't know about their streaming stuff so much, how the ads work on that side. But, the ads get really, really, rough over there. And for as much as people complain about ads on Twitch, and I don't know how bad the duplication is, like YouTube, I watch a video and I will see the same stupid ad for like a mobile game like 8 times in a row, like whatever that one is. That it is the entire gist of it is it shows like a lineup of a bunch of guys getting murdered by this lady, and she gains a number over her head, and then they have like the one guy who's tougher and fools her, and then suddenly gets knocked out to nothing. It's like, come on, man. There's like so many problems with this, because it'd be fine if it was one, but every one of their ads will be a different situation, but it's always, it's implying that there's like being manipulated into giving up strength and all that to like this lady to get stronger. I'm like, man, this is really kind of a sexist game. And it's the advertising. I imagine the game itself is probably fine, but the advertising being presented that same dialogue every time is like, come on, man. You missed when Twitch could read smart TV, so it wouldn't show ads? Yeah. That's just an ad meme. There's entire companies that pump out 20 to 100 of the same game with different skins and use the same ad for each. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, there are companies that make a boatload. But my whole point was rather, there's been a dialogue going on about, leaving Twitch for another platform because what Twitch has done wrong. And I never get a good answer for, okay, but what platform is the one doing better? And you'll have people who've never done anything on YouTube say YouTube, but then they'll go there for a couple months, and then they come back to Twitch. Often, like, not counting when people got banned from the platform and stuff like that, who don't get the option. But we'll have a lot of times where people get banned from the platform. And it's just kind of one of those things that it's just the nature of content creator platforms. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or otherwise. It's just how it is. And we can certainly, as a collective group of people, stop using those, but we would need to find other platforms to engage with. And so far, there hasn't been a platform that has been like, this is the one that replaces Twitch, or this is the one that actually competes. Alright, so we've already cashed out all your money. Yep, Azarus, absolutely. But, like, that's the thing. Like, right now, if you look at the big platforms you could choose between, you've got Twitch is kind of the big streaming platform. You've got YouTube, which I can tell you from streaming on both the platforms, YouTube streaming is just not even a competitor. They very genuinely does not feel like they take streaming at all seriously. So it is kind of like, okay, you can do that, but, like, really, it's... You can stream there and it works, but the amount of pain points it has is just really over the top. Like, it's very clearly a platform intended for you to post videos that it almost feels like they felt pressured by creators on YouTube to make live streaming a thing, and then just never bothered to make it nice. And then TikTok, you've got zero insurance that you'll be able to do anything because they ban and suspend at the drop of a hat, won't even let you get details about what happened. Their appeals process is entirely automated, so if you do get in trouble, that's just it. Oh, thank you for the heart puff. My apologies, Jaden. I didn't see you over there. I was stuck in, or not stuck, I was like caught in the middle of conversation over on Twitch. But thank you for that. Another thing that gets me on TikTok is why don't they just sit there and be like, yo, this person gave you $5, this person gave you $1, this person gave you $20. It's all, this person gave you a galaxy or a heart puff or a rainbow. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, do this in something that I can actually understand. And then you've got Kick, and I won't, like, if my only chance, like, my only realistic way to be successful, were to be Kick, I just wouldn't stream. Like, I would rather just go into another industry than be on Kick. I fundamentally have problems with a lot of stuff that happens over there. No judgment for those who do stream over there, by the way. Like, that's fine. But, like, I very heavily disagree with their approach to moderating, i.e. basically don't. I disagree with a lot of the people they give platforms over there. The very heavily tie into gambling, I have a problem with. They're going to get regulated into the dirt, and it's just a matter of time. We've had that conversation plenty of times before. We don't really need to get into it, that there's a lot of stuff they're doing that they're one lawyer call away from not being around anymore in like 10 different ways. I'd say at one point it might start to make sense for streamers to just have their own streaming site where they're the only creator. The problem you run into with that, though, is then you gotta learn stuff like SEO and doing all that kind of stuff. And a lot of creators, like, your creators would have to know, you know, software developer stuff, like all the marketing, all the back-end stuff. I don't see people succeeding in that. Because, like, that is an entire its own discipline, running websites and all that. And if it turns into you need to have that to be successful, it means you just locked it to effectively almost only software developers or people who already have enough money to throw at it to make it work. And that would very genuinely be a major loss for all of us if it went that way. Wouldn't DDoS be a major problem? For if you're hosting your own stuff? I mean, yeah, if you've had a certain amount of success, it could absolutely be a thing. These days, DDoS is a much more manageable problem. Like, if you host on any of the major platforms, they have DDoS protections that they implement that it ultimately means you pay more money, but they handle the expertise so you don't have to. Just get over here real fast. Alright. Emperor 2. I have no idea what you're talking about, Darth. The way tech is at the moment, you'd just be able to pay $1 to an AI oh, no. Well, that's the thing. Even... realistically, and I know people like AI is going to solve everything. AI is only really good at taking kind of known quantity things, and this is for like generation stuff, known quantity things, and spitting out something along those lines. Basically taking... I'm so tired of those spiders. They just hit so hard. But, like, having it create anything new or compelling, so everyone would have the same rubbish-looking website if AI does it. Like, you can make it out of different skins and all that. I have no idea what that is. I know people are hyping on AI. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't actually expect AI to be... To me, it's just the next fad tech. I've been in software development for over 15 years, and it's every couple of years we'll have whatever the big thing is, it'll blow up, and everyone will try to apply it to all the things. And then the end result is nowhere near as interesting. That what ends up happening is it ends up being one of those things. It'll have its niches, like it's not like the tech is gonna go away, that suddenly AI will be gone and you'll be like that. And I'm talking like generative AI, because we're getting them kind of lumped up all together. But usually that's just getting investor money involved. But then you look it down the road and it will only be applied in the handful of things that really make sense for it to be applied to. Gotcha, I just don't remember. And as the main focus of the site would be the creator and their content. You don't have to be creative, just pay it to do the legwork for you. So right now, as the AI was before it, you had crypto, you had machine learning, which machine learning has a whole bunch of stuff. NFTs, you had what was it? The single page things. Single page, like where it's one page is the whole site kind of things. Like it very much, you do have that rotation of just one tech, then the next tech, and sometimes it'll be like just zombie, that you'll have the tech has come out, and then like the next tech will pop in, and then sometimes it'll just go back to the previous tech again. Like, don't get me wrong, they have their purposes. Like machine learning has its purpose. Like it is used, but arguably so to, and blockchain, everyone was hyping on blockchain for a while. And everyone is saying it's going to solve everything and applying it to everything. I was on projects where they're like, we want this content website. How can we make blockchain work with it? And you go, I mean, I could make it work with it. It would serve no meaningful purpose because it's just, you know, square peg, round hole. You know, I have a hammer. Where's a nail? But that's a very, very common thing that happens in the tech sector. Just whatever the current tech buzzword is, and then everyone will blow up. You'll get millions and millions and millions of dollars of investor money will go into it on all these different startups and all these major companies putting investments into it. And like 3 of them will turn out okay, and all the others will implode and the investors will lose their money. And then the next tech buzzword will fly out and it'll do it all over again. People will still be like, we need to use blockchain to secure school IDs, or we need blockchain to... It's like, no you don't. No you don't. What? That's like using blockchain to secure a library card. Who cares? Do you know what the worst damage they could do is? They steal a library book. Which, sure, that sucks, but the technical implementation is going to cost you way more than if they emptied half your library. Enoch says, we don't think about it, but a lot of the content on the internet right now is AI generated. Most news articles and stuff like that for now. But in the beginning, but being in the topic a little bit, I could tell you in the near future, most of the content, the things we interact with online, will be AI generated around 70%. Yeah. You still think blockchain would be the best form of CD key for games? Well, I mean, the blockchain lets you kind of identify, if it's done properly, identify this unit is this one thing. And sure, you can kind of do that. But, like, how important is that really? Because, again, you have to do all the back-end tech, the verification. If it's proper blockchain, it's going to have, like, a phone home functionality to, like, verify itself and yada, yada, yada. And with all that, that means it's all that overhead. Versus slapping in a CD key and calling it a day. Sure, it's much easier to bypass, but is it worth implementing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tech and maintaining infrastructure on the long term? Like, you know, putting blockchain could be like just in there, like in a naive set. Sure, you could just pay some intern to do it, but to make it reliable and consistent and all of that, it's just kind of one of those things that, okay, you could invest that, but what damages are you preventing? Which is always a consideration. You're investing this much to save that much. and all that. If you would, well, even NFT could be defeated. And then you're implementing this whole thing that's computationally intense and yada yada yada. There's like, look how much of a problem we already have with online-only games that have to phone home just to function. Now imagine every time you buy a game, you not only have to phone home, but you have to phone home with this processor-heavy response. You're going to just have servers that are going to implode when the game comes out, even if the game itself doesn't have an online component. It'll be the DRM that crashes the servers. It's a solution in looking for a problem. Because I'd actually say these days, I wouldn't say software piracy is remotely as bad as it used to for, like, gaming industry. Sure, it's still out there. But how many of those prevented, like, how many of those that you prevent pirating are actually going to turn into sales? And if you take those numbers, does that make sense to spend that on a technical solution to try and mitigate it? Which, realistically, you're going to give, like, hackers a weekend and they'll beat anyways. Because they'll figure out a way to spoof the phone home or to just gut the phone home functionality entirely. They'll just replace the one DLL that has to phone home at all to just bypass the check. There's a cool dev by the Earthbound dev and piracy and price localization. There's been a lot of studies and stuff done by successful developers on piracy. And if you ask like big companies like EA, they'll say it's a big deal a lot of times. But if you ask like individual game publishers and all that, they'll be like, yeah, we can, you know, we did this thing so we could track when people pirated the game. It's like, it's nothing we care about. Like, we got more than the estimated number of sales. There's also an entire thing about how often game piracy helps the total sales of games. In a lot of cases, because it helps kind of market and give popularity to the game. Honestly, if you want the tactics that work better about counter piracy, it's usually you as the company itself make the game available for piracy by itself, but have bugs in it and that kind of stuff. Because then when the people come to like complain about whatever bug is in the game on your forums or whatever, you know not to waste QA time on it. And then as people learn that's literally like a bug or whatever, it becomes a thing that they can, they kind of out themselves as having pirated a game. That's usually solutions that like indie devs will use. Man, that's to me that's not a good use of crypto. Cause like, so the idea with doing something like NFT or crypto would be you want to make sure that key is valid so that people couldn't just spoof the key and all that. But already a lot of these systems have a phone home thing that says, hey, this person is requesting this key, phone home to, Steam server, and Steam says, yep, that key's good, and does that. And by and large, when you buy games through Steam, you don't see the key in the first place. It just happens all inside its own platform. Same with Blizzard, same with all those. So they don't really have too much of a problem of people effectively lying about the CD keys and faking a valid copy. Usually with the game piracy, it's people going to like Tor websites and going to like Tor or whatever, downloading a pirated version of the game that's already had all the authentication ripped out of it, so it doesn't even have the phone home functionality, so it doesn't involve the servers at all. And I don't even think that's that big a deal anymore, not like it used to be. I definitely know in the early 2000s and 90s, we were terrible about that. Part of the reason for it, because you'd want a game and your local store wouldn't have it, so your only option was to pirate it, because it wasn't available for purchase otherwise. That and being, a teenager who didn't have the money to buy it. Genuinely, the companies could spend more time making, games that had more fun gameplay as opposed to worrying so much about that kind of stuff, and that'd be a better investment other time. Or, I don't know, retaining their staff so they can remain competent in what they're doing versus churning through them so constantly that everyone's trying to learn your company's inner workings again and again and because they spend so much time trying to spool up on what your local practices are that they can't spend the time to be efficient on actually developing the game. Like, fix that part of the industry. Yeah, no, I don't disagree. We've got, as far as like quantity of stuff on the platform, not the platform, I should say on the internet, we've got a lot of stuff that's effectively generated and just regurgitate out in volume. I would say, as far as people consistently consume, though, that is not as much. But it's just one of those things that, like, I mean, even if you look at YouTube, what would you say, like, 99% of the content is on there? It's low-effort stuff that's spat out that, you know, never finds an audience. And so, like, so much of YouTube doesn't go anywhere. Twitch is the same way. You look at, like, what is it, 90-something%? This track just seemed like it's way louder than ours. You go to, like, 90-something% of people, they don't ever qualify for affiliate, even if they're trying. And it's just low-effort stuff going into there. I find most AI stuff falls in that same bracket. And you'll hear people say, like, oh, but it just get better. And I actually don't disagree. It won't, like, it will get better. But I do think you'll end up having more and more people who won't like it. And so even if you make good content that feels AI-esque, we already have that. Look how many pictures come out that are 100% made with, like, Photoshop and everything. Like, it is legitimately made, but it kind of makes people think it's made with AI, and people absolutely get pissed about it. And granted, that's no good, because now people are being accused of things they're not, but that's already a thing we're dealing with. So imagine if it does start to become more and more of a problem. Hey, don't get me wrong, it'll improve. Have you seen Sora? Which Sora? I'm assuming it's like an AI-generated project? There's been some that's been decent, but I think you're gonna find the vast majority is gonna be like people who low-effort crap stuff out and call it a day. Oh yeah. Where they had the couple walking down. It was like a snowed on like sidewalk along a water path, if I remember correctly, or something like that. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it looked great, but okay, so they made a walking scene, and don't get me wrong, AI is gonna hurt people. Don't get me wrong, that I acknowledge, but trying to make like long form or any type of like consistent content, I don't think. Because you can execute individual asks with computers and AI, and that's fine. But actually going, I want to make an entertaining movie, I want to make something that's engaging, you'll get probably like clickbaity kind of stuff. Like, we already have news that gets AI generated. And usually it ends up being kind of weird and clickbaity, and that's about as good as it gets. Because that's where money is. They're not worried about retaining, they just want your click for the ads. And the idea is you don't realize it's AI until you click on it. Alright. But yeah, no, I don't think AI is going to disappear. Just to be clear, where I'm sitting there saying that. And I do think it's going to cost a lot of people a lot of jobs. I do think it's going to reduce the size of our workforce. These I all agree to. But as far as, like, consumption of stuff, I do feel people overestimate how bad it is going to be. I don't think it's going to be doom and gloom, the end of creatives or anything like that. I think you will have, like, low-effort content. I mean, low-effort as in how it appears. Content will be out there that gets people and all that. I don't see a lot of that, because even making the AI, when you're talking that scale, is expensive to operate. Like that 60-second near-realistic video, that probably wasn't someone hit a button, waited 30 seconds, and it spat it out for a couple of pennies. That was probably crunching away on some pretty heavy tech for a long number of hours to make that scene, which is still more efficient than people working on it. But I do imagine as people try to do new stuff, that's where the AI will struggle. Because that's always been where machine learning and AI and all that struggles, is all the outliers. It's the reasons why you can't use stuff like machine learning for trying to decide what students are going to be more effective. You know, is this person smart or not? Is this person, you know, going to be able to do X, Y, Z? You can look for things that imply that, which means you'll have a better than just guessing, but that's about as good as you're going to get. Then ultimately, usually what ends up happening with that is if you have someone who has, like, a non-traditional schooling, the AI, or sorry, machine learning in this case, machine learning would identify them as potentially aligning with a pattern that isn't recognized to be successful. We already run into that where we have machine learning helping with hiring people and all that, that if you run into like kind of non-traditional patterns, they tend to grade you far less favorably than before. Even if they don't know that you've got a non-traditional pattern, it's just, you know, you get asked a question, you answer it, and you answer in a way that runs counter to the system what it's looking for, even if your answer is just as good or better than what the normal expected answer is. It still goes, nope, that's not what I was looking for, -10, whatever you want to say. And no one does the proper back work to clean stuff up. And OpenAI did not disclose the data that Sora was trained on. Oh yeah, it's probably 100% just, you know, taking stuff from people without their permission, that kind of thing. I'm going way too far west up here. If Rual was up, it wouldn't be a big deal. We're going a little bit too far west for Rual to be being carried and moving the entire group slower. But yeah, no, I'm, again, as someone with a tech background, I think people have a bit too high of an expectation of AI. It'll be done. It'll be used for good. It'll be used for bad. It'll be used for everything in between. This is all true, and it will have a non-zero impact on the, you know, the industry. I think it's going to actually be a bad impact. Like, I think it is going to be a measured bad impact, but I don't foresee like Disney and Universal and big companies being like, I hit the go button and out comes like the next horror movie. I hit the next button, and out comes the next Pixar-style movie. I hit the next button. I think it'll have too many edge cases that it won't do well. Like, it'll get better, but I don't think it'll ever get to the quality where it's equivalent to a team popping out. And it'd be kind of a pity for all of us if it's one of those things that you can hit the button and make something that's kind of crap but passable. I do think you'll have studios who do that, which will find a certain amount of success. But I think that'll be like your B-tier movies or B-tier games. So you have like your AAA, really high-end, well-developed game, and those will be, you know, they'll use a little AI here and there to improve efficiency of the employees, which, sure. You know, that could get into, is Photoshop bad because it made it more efficient for people to do image editing? I would say no. But, you know, there's an argument to be there where it still costs jobs because people could work faster. And that'll be true. But for actually having, like, you've got the one person leading the department and then, like, a quality assurance person, and they just push a go button and out comes a movie. I don't see that future being anything but, like, B, C, and D tier movies. Yeah, no, that's exactly where it's going with that Infinity Simplex saying, the question is, will it be good enough that companies settle with it? And I'm like, I think the idea is all of the premium brands that, you know, supposedly they have like a quality of product and all that, they will use it for supplementing. If you want to go back before it'd be considered AI, if you remember Monsters, Inc., it was a huge technological advancement in animation when they had Sully's fur. Because it was before that, you'd either put a texture on a flat surface and animate the texture, or you would individually animate those hairs. And you could understand how incredibly obscenely laborious that was, or how bad that used to look. Which is why so few things had any meaningful hair. If they did, it was just like one big mesh that just deformed. But with Sully's fur, they came up with what was effectively an algorithm kind of thing where you say, I want fur here, here's the properties for it, and it would spit out relatively good fur. And that would be where I could see like the AI kind of stuff going, saying, hey, I've made this character, I want hair. And you'd be able to push a button, and it would put hair there, and you go, that hair's too frizzy, let me adjust this, and you push a button, and new hair pops up. I could see it being a lot of that stuff. Oh yeah, no, you're all good, Infinity Splix. But yeah, so I do envision that there'll be that where you'll have existing employees will be able to get more done in less time, and that will cost jobs just because of how these industries like to work. And I do believe when you have your B, C, and D tier movies, like, you know, the budget documentaries, the budget mockumentaries, and those kind of things, I could see them just hitting AI to like make individual scenes and go, which again would normally require a whole staff. That's true. I can see the low effort ones, or like not like the well-made kids cartoons where they have thought through plots and all that kind of stuff to help teach and doing all that stuff, but like the ones where it has like the really rigid animation where it's just like, oh no, we'll have to solve this through the power of friendship. Like those ones would be like, yeah, think of all the cash grab holiday. Oh, Hallmark is going to be all over it. Hallmark movies I could see using generative AI because, let's be real, they're all the same plot. I'm not knocking Care Bears. Care Bears actually had some story to it. They still had the power of friendship, but there are some real low-effort 3D animation kids cartoons that, you watch them like, wow, my brain is smoothing over watching this. Does preserving busy work job that can be replaced by machines even have merit? I refuse to believe that working purpose in life, machines may. So that is, to respond, Otan, to that, to me when it comes, and this isn't even an AI thing, this is just anything that improves our efficiency in working on stuff versus that. So like, just better tools. Robotics, animation, automation, whatever you want to call it, those kind of things. That I personally believe there are two separate issues that are kind of conflated to one big problem because they are connected. Is you have the economic problem with improves in efficiency and automation, and you have the human problem. Now, the human problem is what you are speaking to. If it's a crappy job that no one wants to do that's monotonous, is it appropriate to automate that? And my answer would be wholeheartedly yes. If someone wants to do it, fine. But, you know, people going into dangerous jobs like, you know, nuclear reactor, like dangerous things going in there, or climbing up on dangerous spots, or coal mining, or all that stuff. Sure, no, move to the automation. By all means, why wouldn't you? But then you have the economic issue of, okay, I've now reduced my workforce by 35% through automation. What do I do? Because your choices are, we now support those people, or we effectively kill those people through inaction. Like, basically make it so they can't survive. And those are two separate discussions surrounding kind of the same... They're around the same topic, but two separate pieces of that topic. And I am fully in camp, yeah, like, mundane, dangerous, those kind of tasks, by all means, automate them. I would argue creative work isn't exactly mundane stuff. Like, that's stuff that people have a passion for and want to do. Which, by all means, if machines can do it well, but that gets into the whole, is there a point where we only need a certain percentage of the workforce working? Do we just take care of everyone else? Which my answer is yes. But there are people who are like, no, they're not earning their place in society. And I have problems with that. That I have real problems. Basically, seeing low-quality documentaries on YouTube these days with some AI voices, I wonder how much they could use already AI-generated. and we wouldn't care much. I mean, to be fair, the moment I hear one of those documentaries that's got the AI voice, I usually check out. Because I just assume it's, you know, empty conspiracy theory nonsense. Definitely bad impact. Lots of white-collar jobs won't be needed anymore. Like, that's actually one of the, like, right now, it's surprising to me where AI is targeting, because the jobs, honestly, in, like, the most danger from AI being able to automate it, and automate it well, and just being done with it, is making your schedules at work. There's people who get, you know, spend the time entering all that. We have tools like you can put in everyone's schedule, you hit a button, and it spits out a done schedule. And you can fill in those criteria and do that. And we can get to the point that, like, you don't even need a manager or someone to do the data entry for it. You could have the employee be like, here are the days I can work, and at the end of each week, it hits a button, it spits it out. Don't get me wrong, there's problems with the way it works now, because everyone's all about cutting every single possible penny they do so they understaff like no one's business, but that's another separate problem. But, like, the actual thing of, like, those, getting rid of that job, extremely easy. You can have a lot of these other systems, like when it comes to a lot of your management, not the human interaction, that's the hard to replace thing, but a lot of those management decisions, like strategy around what to purchase and all that, a lot of that is the easy stuff that you can look at market trends and have the computer spit out a better result than the people working those jobs, because it can take billions of different types of input and process them, whereas a human just can't. It is just one of those things that there's so many jobs, like a lot of what CEOs do nowadays, you can turn over to computers, and a lot of the cases they will do a better job, because there is logical decisions to be made there. Alright. Somewhere, that's the one for the limbs. No? Where's the limbs box? I thought I built one. Didn't I? Oh, it might be in this one. Yeah, there we go. The human side of the problem can be expanded a little. Even if the tools replace some of the non-mundane, valuable work that people want to do, it doesn't mean that it can't do it anyway. Can't do it anymore. There's so many handicrafts, creators, cursive, Etsy nowadays making things. Yeah, no, I agree. Basically, the idea is we can build that. That's always the it used to be a scapegoat argument before the AI thing really kicked off. That I would push back on. That what you'd end up happening is people be like, oh well, if we don't need them working, you know, the factory line or whatever the thing was in question, that particular conversation, then they could just go and, you know, be a musician or do this or that or whatever that person's argument was. And you would sit there and go, all right, even without the AI, generative AI thing, going, okay, but let's be real here. If you cut down your workforce, that literally 1/3 of the population is creating content, that kind of thing, is there that many people who are going to be consuming that? And it's like, the answer's no. Like, there is a point where you actually hit a saturation that you can make the content, but there isn't people to consume it because just how saturated a market gets. We already run into that with a lot of different types of content that's desirable, sought after, what do you want to use for your words. And so, like, that was always their escape. It's like, oh, they could just do something else productive. Photography didn't kill painting? No, I gotcha. But, like, in a future where everyone's a painter, you have a problem. You also need money to consume. No money mean no jobs need no money. Yeah, and that's a thing. There is an economic thing of you just need less workforce as our efficiency improves, to a point that even taking out of population shifts, you literally have less people needed to work, period, total, cumulatively, as the population increases with some of these improvements in productivity. There's still that conversation that people have to have, that uncomfortable conversation where you go, okay, we don't have work for everyone to do. And even if they want to be productive, like, there's just not a need. What do we do? And it's a scary thing because, you know, it's a scary topic. Alright. So like moving to automated mining with an AI core. Is there stuff in the core tab we want? Heavy foundation we don't care about? This is where universal basic income comes in. And I, for one, think we needed it 5 years ago. I don't disagree. I am honestly on the camp of, instead of trying to like one-off all of the different support things we give, just have that whole system that you go, what is the baseline thing we need to support people? Okay, we should just be doing that. But there are people who have real big difficulty with the idea of someone freeloading or having a free, like a safe, like a, that they didn't earn it or whatever. And I don't agree with that. That's not how I think about the world. I've seen too many people who are entirely capable, well-meaning, and trying, and just don't have a chance because things are stacked against them so heavily. Let's see. You'll always need land and resources, even if you have the most excellent automation. I mean, this is true, but we're talking total numbers of jobs. All right, automated, ancient sign books. We're burning some pretty expensive materials here. Semi-automatic ore, more ore, advanced stone making. Oh, those require just you just require regular books. Huh. That caught me by surprise. Reverend advanced leather armor. We're not gonna worry about that. Chain armor crafting. I was hoping to find, like, the advanced weapon grades. We won't need that. I could go for the advanced medicine. That'd be of good use. Any government that limits AI development can only do so in their own borders, and they automatically lose out on the countries that don't. I mean, there is that argument, yes. At the same time, they could also sit there and say things produced in this way can't be allowed to do whatever, and that does happen. Like, that's actually a thing that the US has done to other countries where we say, here, we have these base requirements that you have to adhere to, and if you don't, you're not allowed to operate here. And that's been a whole thing. I'm not saying it's a right or a wrong answer, but there is things that you can push back, because we can make the same argument that we could say, oh, forced labor, you know, gives you an advantage or whatever. I don't believe that's true. And we could still sit there and say, yeah, but we're just not going to do business with anyone who does this harmful practice. I don't think it's the right answer to completely just say no AI. That isn't a realistic outcome. I do believe we consider and say, hey, things that are made with AI in particularly harmful ways, we can disallow. Like, we just won't do trade or whatever. Go ahead and get that. Basic bridges. That's interesting. Man, I still have AI cars. I need ancient books and regular books. Let's see, services nowadays need a little more energy. And we're preparing giant solar satellites to get us all the energy we want from space. Ban crafting. Collecting solar. So, I don't believe we'll ever be truly in a infinite power kind of situation. Because ultimately, getting the satellites to get power home becomes a whole challenge within itself. And there's lots of negatives and ramifications of those decisions as well. I was hoping for more armor stuff. Like, not sets, but just, like, higher grade armor. Yeah, improved armor benches. Okay. So I think what's ending up happening here is I just need regular books. That's fine. We got a bunch of our research stuff done, so Rual probably needs more food. We're also going to drop off some of this medicine. Did you eat yet, Rual? Yeah, I ate before stream. On days that Tomb has off, usually I eat well before, like, I eat before stream. That's just not a thing. It's when Tomb doesn't have the day off that, you know, it's not really a thing that happens. Here, we can put a bunch of the littler ones in the bag. I was not expecting those all to stack that well. There we go. Yeah. No, I do think, like, as they move to renewable powers and all that, things will improve a lot. Oh, right, I forgot. Rongor's sitting here with, like, enough food to bury Rual alive in. Let's see. A human can, at burst power, 250 watt of muscle. Those human work is actually make work. It's just moving too fast. Make work. All right. Human maintains the car who finds. I missed something with all that. How? Okay. So we can stack 25 high. That's enough food to last Rual for basically ever. Alright. And how am I doing on time? We're at the game switch? No, we're not at the game switch. We got another half hour. That's fine. We'll start pushing to take out that last cannibal town. And make that happen. We got no one in the other group? Okay. We're gonna go ahead, and so we've wiped out this town, we've wiped out that town. And we've got this town over here we haven't messed with. Dead Cat, we did a pretty big number on it. I went to fight the main dude there, and he absolutely demolished our face. To the point we were treating, we're like, alright, we're not ready for this fight. Because he was 100 stats and was hitting us for like 280, 300 a punch. So that was I see. I guess I'll come back another time kind of situation. What did we research that? That's not where I need to look for that. Let's see. Advanced mining tech. Oh, automated mining tech. That's right. We moved from that to... Where are you at? So instead of that, I don't know, am I missing something? It might just be a prereq for other stuff. Oh, right. I needed to go and have them rest of the skeleton beds. They've been fighting a lot. I just looked over and I saw like one or two of my people's like, oh, right. They got like 40 points of wear and tear on there at least. Yeah, let's go patch them up real fast. Okay. Yeah, no, I'd agree. Like, people have been improving efficiency constantly through tech and all that, whether it's robotics or whatever. Wait. What limbs do you have that have only... Oh! I didn't realize the blade weapons had, like, no hit points to them. That's a little scary. I didn't watch that part. That's fine. All right. Yes, we're just cycling everyone through until they're all repatched up. We haven't done it in a while, so some of them are getting pretty roughed up. All right. Yeah. That's fair. We're not living in Kenshi. Going for those real high bars. We're also not living in RimWorld. Hey, Insane Spork, how's it going? Alright, so we've got over there. No extras. Now we can move towards the cannibals. Yet? Nah. Kenshi's one of those universes that's fun to play in, but it's not a realistic depiction of reality. We actually mentioned it like right by the beginning of the stream that Kenshi is a weird universe where they've got robotic people that are able to be maintained and do a whole bunch of stuff with them. We've got all sorts of advanced things, but then like the weaponry in Kenshi is all like, you know, really kind of garbage. Because not gonna lie, living in Kenshi is easier. Might be easier now. At least you could train new skills for more opportunities. But here's the counter argument. Slavery, cannibalism, the whole world is like burnt out. You don't have basic things like, I don't know, medicine. Like granted, in Kenshi universe there's no disease or anything. But yeah. And Insane Spork at a 55 stream streak. So thank you so much for continuing to tune in for those last 55 streams. I really do appreciate your continued viewing and all that. I hope you enjoy your extra 450 points. You didn't say, well, that was they're saying would be easier. I don't think so. They kind of, you have armies of roving, starving people as enemies for an entire region of your map. That starvation is one of the most likely outcomes in this world. Like, for all the pains we've got going on right now, medicine has never been better. Like, we can cure stuff we never even, like, we didn't even know existed, you know, 50 years ago. We can, like, you think about even stuff like the flu, just the basic flu had such a high body count in the past. And it's not that people don't die from it anymore, they do, and it's a significant number. But comparatively speaking, it is nothing compared to what it used to be because we actually understand how it works and all that kind of stuff. There's so many sicknesses we ran into that if you got it, it's, hey, go ahead and write up your own obituary. You're gonna go ahead and check out soon. But now you just pop a couple of pills for a couple of weeks and it's just, the disease is just gone. And it's not a cure-all, like, not everything's perfect or anything, by all means. We have some of, I mean, granted right now, life expectancy's been going down recently, which is a whole scary thing. But generally speaking, we have a longer life expectancy than, other than just like 10, 15 years ago, had never been longer. And the quality of life for a lot of people, while yes, there is some negatives, is higher than it's ever been. So as much it is to be able to get caught up in our immediate problems, because they're legitimate and valid problems, it's also sometimes you gotta step back and go, okay, like, there is stuff going wrong, but you know what? For like, I've had people like, I would love to go back and live in medieval times. You're like, no, you don't. You have no idea what you're talking about. If you think times are hard now, you don't even... Like, serfs were a whole thing back then. That you were told, you live on this land, but what if I don't want to? Well, you can die. Okay, I guess I live on this land. Alright, now toil in the soil for me. And eat the same thing out of a pot for the entire year round. Just take your pot that has been cooking for a full year and huck a new potato and some new oats in there. And if you're really lucky, you might be able to snag a rabbit or something to toss in there too. But you're eating from that same pot that has been cooking all year round. Like, you don't clean it out between. It's the same exact soup that you just keep adding to. Even a noble, like, we have depicted in media, like, the nobles, like, eating these, like, wonderful roasts and all this, and really, even their food by our standards today is pretty crap. And I don't even mean, like, in quality, like, the offerings and all that are pretty crap, because they're only eating what's locally available, because, you know, there's no such thing as refrigeration back then. Oh, hey, you a leader? Oh, no, you're just a man catcher. Cleaning it out would be pouring away nutrients. Oh yeah, that was the thing. You had to do that to survive. So it's kind of like you see the way pirates are depicted in media, and all that. It's very romanticized. It's terrible living. You know, everyone living in like disease and squalor. Like, there's a reason why one of the nicknames for medieval times was the Dark Ages. Even nobility, the quality of life was crap. It's just they were on the top of the pile of crap. Alright, well, they patched themselves up. Let's see if we can't get a better tech setup over here. Scurvy has joined the chat. Alright, so resources. We could have a copper drill. I think 52% is what we can get. We can get an iron drill. We should be able to get... I thought there was like a stone drill. We probably just don't have it yet. Alright, so get them building that so we can automate that. Alright, so with as much as we've gained skills and all that, I should be able to not just straight up roll into this place and call it home, but I should probably be able to just sit out on the edge, let people come after me, and knock them out. Alright, so it looks like they're coming to me. Is that one of the leaders over there? It's always hard to tell. So most of the leaders have like the spiky helmet that I've seen. Well, I mean the spiky helmet, like one big point helmet, not the actual named spiky helmet. Hi? Alright. They got a patrol we're hitting over here. Oh, I see. Turn it on where we help our other people again. Yeah, so now we just roll around and we're just watching for the ones that got spiky helmets. They're probably the leaders. These are the tougher ones that we're going to find in here. These ones with the big heavy black armor. They do a decent amount of damage, and they got a decent amount of defense. Most of these are ones that are just, like, tattooed up. They'll go down pretty easy. Yeah, so the thing I'm noticing with the cybernetic limbs I gave Rual is they only take a hit or two to get pretty bad. Like, Rawl's limping right now and has not really taken hardly any damage. So while it's fun to have the Mimi, I'm going to do an extra 70 damage of unarmed damage. It also definitely comes with a pretty heavy drawback. We'll have Rual run here and see what they got. Oh, I actually clicked wrong door. It's fine. You can have the copper outlet back. You're not seeing what I'm doing. I'm deliberately putting it so that the chest is under my mouse when the window goes away. So I can just spam click it. I don't care. I'm not going to fight it for that. It's just one of those things you do to make stealing faster when... Like, in real life, they wouldn't be able to... Like, I wouldn't care that they caught me. I'd take it anyways. So you have a fridge, a microwave, a supermarket. You have hot and cold running water in the tap. I live like a manor lord supported by a staff of 300 years ago. Probably a village attack support my liking. But as canary. Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things. Like, you go back a little while, there's entire areas of the world that were unlivable because of temperature. Well, it's a shame you can't carry that. I'm actually not too worried about that. That's not... Actually, we'll check our person with a katana and see if they can use that. Because that's not a bad weapon. Who is using a katana right now? You had a katana. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have you grab that. Oh, got in one. There you have like an indoor and an outdoor katana. Alright, meanwhile the rest of them are just doing work out there. Okay, good enough. So do you think, if anything held up with RoboCop, even Blade Runner is starting to get outdated now? Which you never imagine myself saying. Oh yeah, there's, well, it's also funny, like, what starts to look outdated in a lot of those movies. The ones that are trying to be, like, futuristic. Like, there was a Star Trek, and I always forget which one it is, that they use, like, a USB thumb drive in one of their scenes. It was one of the earlier movies. And so they have, like, all the space-age technology and all this other stuff doing, and he plugs a thumb drive in at one point. It's like a throwaway scene. They don't even focus on the thumb drive. And you're like, you know what's not going to be here in hundreds of years? Thumb drives. There's just a war going on down there between the cannibals and the shrieking bandits. Hey, let's take the party back into town, please. I'm down for your fighting, but in town. Make them come back to their town. We'll deal with that here. I didn't even check. Do these prison cells have people in them? Some shrieking bandits we don't care about, and some other cannibals. I hope the film Gattaca becomes more accurate. I don't know that one. Alright, so we're making our move on one of the last two cannibal towns. Because pretty much what you got is you got this cannibal town to wipe out, and then Dead Cat itself. And part of the reason I chose to do this target is we already wiped out most of Dead Cat, but I went after the leader and he demolished us. Oh, it sucks to be you, doesn't it? Of future they use genetics to enhance human capabilities. That is one of those things I am curious about what ultimately happens. Like, even if it's not genetics, but like as prosthetics get better. Like, we've had the whole thing where it comes to running, they have the spring legs. Are they better than human legs? No, unless you're talking about running in, like just running in general. They're kind of not great for a lot of things. But, you know, there is that point where we might be able to reach the point where it's like, oh yeah, we can make better eyes than the ones you've got built in your head. So what do we do with that? And that gets into a whole complicated, muddy thing about how you handle all those kind of things. And that's actually a fairly likely thing to occur. Maybe not as widespread as we depict in like our games and movies and all that, where you can like improve everything. But there's a lot of stuff that you'd be able to make some component that does the one thing better than you can, that then connects to the rest of you. And part of the reason I'm staying by the cages here is when they find targets and beat them up, they take them to the cages. So that means they'll be nearest whatever they throw up. They gotta make better eyes. LASIK can make people 2015 sight. The U.S. Army is wanting their snipers to get that surgery. Yeah, I haven't heard that one, but... Does make eyes better too? True. Alright, get back in the middle of town, please. Stop running out of the outskirts. Make sure no one's on hold. Alright, so we're just gonna keep trashing town. So if you remember, like only 1 or 2 Kenshi streams ago, I had to be really careful about how aggressively I went into the cannibal towns. Like it would be kind of a slow attrition, like to like fight everyone out on the outskirts and slowly move in till I could get a foothold. Versus this one, we kind of just rolled into town. Like it didn't full on just race to the middle and call it a day. But it wasn't far from that. We fought like 1 or 2 over here and then went the west way. And also, partly is because we're hitting so much harder, there's going to be a lot of these ones that when we knock them down, they won't get an opportunity to bandage and get back up at all. Yeah, like that guy's never getting back up. Where are you going? It doesn't matter. It's not where I want you. It's this fight over here, which seems to be just this raging battle between the Shrieking Bandits and the Cannibals that they both keep reinforcing. Seems to be going pretty long and solid. But I can work with that. Because what that means is I get to sit here and just keep healing off the town. The downside is, because they're recognizing the Shrieking Bandits as friendly, which I don't understand why, because they attack me too. Alright. We're gonna wipe out another bandit town. Or not bandit town. Cannibal town. So we started here, there was about 80 something. There's technically 50. All 50 of those are face down in the dirt right now. Slowly dying. It's fine, don't worry about it. There's nothing to be concerned about ethically. It's definitely okay. It's definitely not something to consider, you know, your actions in the moment, even if they are awful people. Now, granted, it's unclear, and it's probably just me not knowing the Kenshi lore, that the cannibals are very clearly not depicted as even particularly human anymore. So I don't know if, like, literally this is how they function now, is that they have to eat people. I don't, like, for literally all of them to be in the society together and everything, it's not clear how this works. All right. They ate one too many tacos. Yep. Yeah, and I did turn on, I've been working on a bot. I know for this game it's like weirdly placed, but when I play RimWorld I end up getting nothing but like cannibalism memes all the time. Or not nothing. I get a lot of cannibalism memes that do get really tiresome after a while. Because it's just like the same thing all the time. So I do have a bot that I set up today, or a command or event, whatever you want to call it in the bot, that it does take a bunch of things that are in that line and just replace it with tacos. I figured it'd be a fun meme. Because the alternative is if I were to start being like, hey, like, because I was getting tired of telling people not to joke. So no jokes about hats made out of certain materials. Well, that's the whole thing, Panderific. Like, I set up the bot so it'll at least be funny. So that way being like, hey, you know, like, we're not gonna make a billion jokes about it. Because it'd be fine if it was once in a while. But the issue is, and it's one of the things that keeps me from playing RimWorld more, is I play RimWorld that's just 2-3 hours of like every couple of minutes, and I'm exaggerating this to be clear, but like fairly constant cannibalism jokes, and it's like, look, man, there's a lot more to this game than that, especially since I pretty much never do cannibalism in the game. Like, pretty much never. I honestly feel it's more interesting to try and claw a colony back from the brink without turning to that. Is one your cybernetic arm? I mean, in this one, you're a robot. You're just a straight-up robot in this game. Like, you are cybernetic. But I figured it'd be versus, you know, when the jokes about cannibalism get like over the top and I'm like, all right, let's calm down. I figured this is the way to like kind of temper that while also having it be fun. That's at least my thought on it. Is that like just the joke where it's constantly going, you know, so to be like, oh, your food went bad, it's time for, and it just substituted with tacos. It's like, it's time for tacos. And I think, like, my thought is it'd be kind of like butt spot. Now, I debated whether I wanted to delete the message or whether I wanted it to just replace it or how I wanted to go about doing it. And I've gone back and forth a lot on how I wanted to approach that, and I'm not sure there's a right answer. But I figured it'll be fun. And I'm figuring while it's new, it'll probably get spammed a bunch. It is what it is. But, eventually I figured it'll calm down a little bit. And I fully expect memes around people being like, you know, what's obviously meant to be a topic on that and just using the word taco, not even triggering the bot, like literally using the word taco instead of the bot doing it, will probably happen as a result, which I'm fine with. But, if someone, like, keeps trying to bypass the bot or whatever, You know, it'll be one of those, hey man, take a hint. Taco's the best meal? Fact. I don't know who. Someone in our group is getting the occasional hit for 123, and I don't know who. I think it's Rual, because of the unarmed skill plus the limbs with these, like the 43 and that, because that's the only one who has bonuses that get remotely that high. I think other ones will get there. I just don't think they're there. Alright. You said you had a taco today, but it wasn't good enough, so you put a taco in my taco. Sometimes you got a taco in your taco. I see you moving over there. And just everyone is running around. Once a cannibal gets up, we just knock him down. Like I said, it'll be one of those things that, because we're hitting hard enough now, a lot of them we will hit them so hard that they won't ever get back up. That one's missing his arm, so he's just running away. You think never in your life you've had a taco? But I think you would like them. There are many places in Germany where tacos are prepared. To be fair, a lot of times when you get Mexican or Tex-Mex food, like a certain distances away, it's not that they're bad, but they're definitely not as good. So we have a bunch of them. We're breaking both of their arms, and as a result, they are just running away now. I do wish your people were smart enough when you ran to that. Why are you always stuck someplace? Let's try this again. Rual is really fast, so I'm hoping Rual could just run up and jump kick him. Come on, get enough of a lead that you can drop some hits in there. There we go.
Take a sip. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, so we got a bunch of them who, I'm honestly surprised with having both their arms broken. They're not just collapsing from blood loss. Alright, how's the town looking? 15 remaining. Alright, so surround him properly, and everyone make a move. He's having pathing problems, so it's unintentionally making him dodge all my attacks. Alright. Yeah, so Rual's hitting for like 40 in that. Looks like the Arbiter here hit him for like 70. There goes a limb, so he's probably not going to be back. Oh, where'd the one that was up here go? So really bunch him in. Cool. There should be a mod for mercy killing at this point. So it is one of those things that they've specifically opted in this game to not allow you to just like right click kill. That you are supposed to whittle people down, that kind of thing. And it's one of the things that they also make fair on their end as well, that there's not many enemies that will kill you while you're downed. They do exist, cannibals being among them, but for the most part it is one of those things that as long as you stay away from a handful of certain enemies, as long as you're not fatally injured to where you're going to bleed out, you can just wait for people to walk away. And it, you know, it's relatively okay. I actually landed a hit. People getting stuck again. All right. It still says 15, but it doesn't refresh every couple seconds. Oh yeah, one more hit to that chest and you're dead. Can't see, it says everyone is just stuck crowded in this one little spot. There you are. Where are you going? Alright, get back in here. Stop running across the whole map. That's not where this is happening. There's a mod for execution, but you lose a lot of skill by killing downed enemies instead of fighting them until they die. Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's lots of games that do that. Because it'd be one of those things like, alright, if you're going to allow that, it'd only be fair that enemies could do the same to you. Which could be those things that any enemy that has over certain negative standings with you would finish the job. And no one would want to play that. And so it's like, nah, it's fine. I'm okay with this. Because you can actually, you still can get rid of them. I believe even when they're alive, you can feed them into, I think it was the, a corpse furnace or whatever, which is in places like this. Which, you know, is a whole ethical concern. But, you can actually use the fires here to get rid of bodies. And that includes ones that are not quite dead, if I remember correctly. Ethical concerns in my Kenshi? Well, that's the thing. There's the whole thing, like, obviously the Kenshi world, you can do all sorts of terrible things. That doesn't mean you, the player, can't be like, you know, you accept that while you're doing in the game and it's fun or everything. The reality is, it's terrible. So I put them right here, I think they'll be able to hit him. Or not. He'll figure it out sooner or later. Or he won't. I don't know. Alright. Okay, and how is this cannibal village going? There's 14 actual citizen, people alive here. Which a lot of them are just unconscious, they just haven't managed to get up. Yeah, no, but tacos aren't a hard recipe. It's finding decent seasonings is usually the big challenge you deal with. Just a lot of places. I don't know if they're scared of seasoning. I mean, different people have different palates, but you go to try and find like good Mexican food from a long ways away, and they tend to just be very, very. Would you hit him? Fine, let him go. I don't know. But like the seasonings tend to be extremely mild. Yeah, you're not getting back up. Another them reaching escape velocity? Oh yeah. We got this one bugged in the wall there. If we get down to like a population of 1, that's usually the way you can fix that is you just leave the area and come back. And they'll usually sort it out. All right. 13. Yeah, so in updates, the vast majority of the people here are definitely not getting back up ever. All right. Let's see. Alright. Sorry, just trying to keep track of all the different fights. Looks like we got like another patrol came in, but that's fine. We'll mess them up too. And just keep doing it. It's just training weapon skills and endurance and athletics, dexterity and all that. Okay. People keep getting stuck. This is another thing I hope Kenshi 2 gets really better about. Is people being able to be shoved into terrain and then being unable to get out. It's one of the things I keep worrying about when I'm, doing the my YouTube run, is I keep worrying about getting into a fight and getting pushed through a wall and then not having a second character to pick them up and lift them out and having to reload because of it. But how much people get stuck with this character must be, single player must be a nightmare. Yeah, it's big numbers are where the problem happens. Got one running with no arms again. Okay. So what I am going to do in the meantime is I'm going to go put up a poll for what game we're going to be switching to, because we are getting past that time to when I normally would switch. I just kind of want to like wrap up this town, so it's like, you know, we got neat. Okay, we're good. Oh, I don't have a mod list, sorry. We're just running the Genesis mod, and then the Dark UI and the Brighter Nights mods. So it's a very, very short list of mods, but most of what you're seeing is the Genesis mod. Genesis mod is kind of one of those things that does a whole lot. Okay. So I want to get the poll going if we get the individual fights calming down for a minute. Yeah, you're right, because that guy has no arms. Yeah, no, I ate the poison berries. They'd always be poisonous. So here's the first thing to keep in mind. In real life, there's a lot of things in Project Zomboid that actually be either safe to eat or poisonous to eat that Project Zomboid does the reverse. Video game logic versus real life logic doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure holly berries in Project Zomboid, I think they used to always be safe, and then they changed it with, I think it was build 41, that they only might be safe. The issue was, I ate them, and I didn't wait to see if they're poisonous. Not long enough. I was like, oh, I need to wait, but I didn't remember how long I needed to wait. But yeah, no, that's, it's the whole you can't apply real-life logic to video games thing. Because it used to be once upon a time, all the blueberry-looking berries were always safe because there is no berries that look like that that are poisonous. But then, you know, Project Zomboid game logic, they changed it so they can even be poisonous sometimes now. It's just basically that you can't tell what is and isn't. Alright. It wouldn't be so bad, but my characters are so fast now. If I click out of the window to deal with the pull for a couple of seconds, that's all it takes for my characters to straight up be in a different zip code they've run so far. Which is normally a good thing, but kind of a bad thing in this case. It also sucks I have to keep retrieving that there's this little gap that for whatever reason you can run into, but they can't run out of. Which if I was playing single player, the way you work around that is you climb into one of the cells, and then after you get into the cell, you just pick your way back out. This might actually work out for us. This might go... Oh no, I was hoping... Ah, I think we got him finally. Excellent. All right. Okay, how close to dead are you? Still saying 12, but like I said, it's a lot of them are because they're recovery coma, and then they'll go down and stay dead. You're playing dead, but your injuries are just gonna get worse and worse. Might be able to trigger you to get back up by stealing your medicine. Nope. Alright. Let's try and get this poll going because This is gonna keep going and going. Alright, so pull. What are we playing now? Because for those who don't know, I switched games halfway through the stream. So we are at about that point where I switch. But don't worry, if you're just really into Kenshi, you're like, oh man, I just want to see Kenshi, this will be back. We're going to keep going with this run. I didn't actually end up collecting any bounties, but we did get a lot of equipment and a lot of levels and everything. We are working on the cannibals right now. We've got just the main guy and Dead Cat to get rid of a couple of stragglers. But some of my people need a little bit more levels before I can take that on again. Or I have to get a billion crossbows and cheese it. So in the meantime, I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and wipe out the last cannibal town that I hadn't gotten yet. So put up RimWorld. We'll put up Farming Simulator 22. We will murder the crap out of you real fast. And I will go check my Steam library to see if there's any other games on the short list I want to pop in here real fast. Alright. Yeah, because you can see a bunch of them just got up because they've had enough time to recover. What else do I want to put on the list? I'll put SnowRunner up there. And I'm debating on the Tribe Must Survive. It's one of those things, I've really enjoyed the Tribe Must Survive, and I do want to play more of it on the channel. I'm just wanting to make sure I take my time with it, that I don't burn myself out on it while it's still early access kind of thing. Because I've done that plenty of times with games. So trying to go and get that. I think we'll just stick with those options. So get the poll going. Alright. So when you mess with a dead character and they get up into combat set and then faint again. Oh yeah, or like a character's unconscious, like so they briefly stand up and then they collapse again. Just like, oh wait, I'm unconscious. Never mind. Yeah, it's still saying there's 12 of them. Wonder if I go up here if you'll be able to fight. Well, the problem is I got one guy over here who's stuck in the floor. There we go. Alright, so meanwhile, what's going to happen here? Why can I not target you? So I seem to be having an issue where I can't target them. I'm wondering if it'll knock him up in the air. No. Let's have Rongor try going over here. Alright. Yeah, so I'm sorry. If you do not see the poll, make sure you vote in the poll. You'll need to refresh your browser, or if you're on the mobile app, you might need to close the mobile app and reopen the mobile app. It's just a thing that happens, especially if you've been watching for a while, that sometimes Twitch just doesn't show up. There's nothing I can do about it. Can I pick you up? There we go. I'm happy they made the pickup range pretty decent so you can fix problems like that, because otherwise it'd be just broken. Let's see, yep, reminds me of the situation where once in RimWorld with a vampire, he had that plunge skill, and every time he used it, he collapsed after landing. Gotcha, but yeah, so we got RimWorld. If we play RimWorld, we'll be continuing with our whole tile challenge we've been working on. If we play Farm Sim, we've got a a Survivor Band challenge we're working on where we started with $0 and a chainsaw and a dream, and we've been building up from there. That's been going pretty good. I probably have one more harvest or so to get the big harvester or a bigger harvester. At which point everything should go fast. I'll be ready to take more territory to expand our farm. And then SnowRunner will be continuing with Michigan, where I'm pretty far into it, but I greatly underestimate how ridiculously long some of those maps are. But all of those are a good time. And if none of those interest you, I do understand. I get it. It's okay. Don't worry. We'll be having more Kenshi probably tomorrow. I might start with RimWorld tomorrow and then switch to Kenshi later, or we'll RimWorld tomorrow and then have a vote. Granted, it does seem like people have been really leaning into Kenshi and RimWorld lately, which is fine. They're both excellent games. And I haven't had many other games that have been like, this is a game I really want to play that I happen to have a key for, because unfortunately, I can't justify buying like every game that comes out that looks good. I do try and get the keys, but I don't always manage to make that happen. Hey, Bentley, how's it going? Well, there goes 2 limbs back to back. I definitely destroyed the tacos. It's also interesting, even though I have Rawlbot. You know what? I bet you have to go through and what says delete the message. I probably have to set it to Rawlbot. I bet you it's just defaulting to mine. Where did that come from now? You know, I've had this conversation about like, and it's like obviously this faction same cow. I have no problem with this, but you know where I constantly get like all the cannibalism memes in RimWorld to the point that I'm like, hey, could you not, like, they're getting tiresome. And even like it wouldn't be so bad, but even when I'm not playing RimWorld, I'd get the memes around it because RimWorld and all that. That I got to the point where I kept asking people to, you know, to chill on it because it's getting tiresome. And so what I ended up doing is I made a bot that whenever someone mentions it, it just replaces it with tacos. Because it's kind of a soft way of being like, hey, you know, very clearly I'm trying to make a hint here. Now, obviously, in this case, we are playing Kenshi. There's a faction called Cannibals. You know, the Cannibals. I understand. That's not the reason I set it up. But it also is just funny because now it's like, oh no, did we defeat the tacos? I'm amused by it, at least. I found it a better way than having the whole conversation of like, hey, could we chill with the cannibalism jokes? They get old after a while. Alright, so with that said, what's going to end up happening, because we did have RimWorld did win. So what we're going to go ahead and do is Kenshi is going to be going away for a little bit, so all of you over on TikTok land and YouTube land, the stream is going to be ending on your end and then starting back over here in a little bit. And that's going to be just what ends up happening there. But what'll happen here on Twitch is we are going to be switching to RimWorld. The stream will be back on those platforms. It's just I can't change categories mid-stream. That is just a problem they have on those ones. It is what it is. Wait, what did I miss? Okay, sorry. I was being distracted because I saw like the auto mod trip and